1500 or less.
Anyway.
Right, while we wait for people to turn up, I'm just going to visit the little boy's room. I'll be back in a minute.
Alright.
Do you know what the 40k conquest thing is?
No, I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but it sounds like it's getting some steam and it looks pretty fun, I guess. So.
Well, so conquest is this. It's like a monthly subscription thing.
Yeah.
And do you know anything at all what I'm talking about?
Well, it's like because you get when you do the subscription, you get 2 armies, right?
Yep. Okay, you know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not available in the United States.
What?
No, can't get it in the United States. Only available in the United Kingdom.
That's lame.
Yeah, unless you happen to have friends in the United Kingdom. And I happen to have friends in
Just
the
a
United
few.
Kingdom.
Just a couple.
And they have been so kind to send me my things.
Dude,
So
that's awesome.
I'm assembling as we speak.
Are you gonna give all your Chaos Dwarves tail?
I think you mean lasso.
Lassos. My bad, lassos. You gonna give them all lassos?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we've only got one so far.
I see that. Yeah, I'm looking at your team now.
Yeah.
You got that clown trying to be a strong bull though.
Who?
Sue, a boy named Sue.
Oh, dwarf named Sue.
Trying to be a strong bull.
Yeah. Nah, he just he was fed from an early age the correct amounts of proteins.
Oh, not steroids, right? Just proteins.
Yeah. he's just a naturally big.
So how'd you get the bull to be faster then? What'd you do there? Grass fed and all that?
So not much is known about him. He is not a big bucker, but he is quite fast. So we hope he, through the course of the season, can be ridden like the Brute was. But to date, the Brute has only been ridden once, so, you know.
Oh man, this will be interesting. I'm excited for you to go full detail for us today.
Well, I mean, I don't really have much detail on the team at all.
None at all. Yeah. Not that you know.
I mean, I don't, to be honest, because you have to understand why it is that I'm even, or how I even got there,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, This is what you're gonna explain.
I mean, it's not like it's not published on the website, I mean.
I know, I did skim over it, but I was reading it and I had to go to work, and then I have been really bad this week on reading stories, so I got a few left to catch up on.
What Works about?
Yeah, you don't know what Works about, yeah. I traveled to Seattle last weekend with work, so I had to get a bunch of shit done this week.
Oh, that sounds fun.
No, those books are going to charity.
Yep.
I don't know why the Moon Elves are Scottish.
I thought the entire time, I was like, what is going on right now? Like, why are they Scottish?
Yeah.
Apparently, Zadia is all, like, that way, across the sea, and then the humans are all Americans.
Yeah, and of course they're bad, right?
Yeah. It's so, oh my God. Hey, I thought it was a good show, though. I was like, man.
No, it is. It's great. But I've only watched like the first 3 episodes, so.
Dude, there's only like 9 episodes, and they're only 24 minutes, and I stayed up until like 2 a.m. the other night watching them all. freedom. They're fighting for freedom. Normal things. I guess.
Right. Should we start this thing? Senston said he
Let's
didn't enjoy Dragon Prince. He did enjoy it, but it was weird.
He said dwarf accents.
A dwarf accent. Apparently the dwarves and the Scots are the same thing.
Have you heard? They are.
Well, that's something to tell Dio, isn't it? Right, let's get.
They have a little bit more manly accents than Dio, but
yeah, but they sound the same.
Yeah.
Not that we're stereotyping already.
No.
Yesterday we insulted people's parents. Now we're being racist. I like this.
Good start. Good start to the show. We're good.
Yeah. Right. We are gonna go to the to the challenge leagues. We're gonna start with the DLC and the fun leagues, and we've got Preach, and he's gonna tell us a little about. Let's find his team. Where's his team?
We're gonna go backwards today. We're gonna start at the end and go the other way. So we'll start with Preach.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. That's more chance than plan.
Yep.
Okay, so we are looking at the team. Let's see what the team's been doing in the farm, or the build up.
You have your beautiful face on the camera today.
I do. I went and purchased a camera just to, moving forward, and it needs a bit trim around the fluffy bits, but never mind. So anyway, he's picked himself up 11 wins, 3 draws, 8 losses in his warm-ups. Average score 1 a game, so that's nothing outstanding. What can we see here? 5 kills inflicted. That's a bit rude.
Jeez. Yeah, you got a rude team over here.
He has taken 6 kills, or 6 deaths sustained. Well,
so he gives as much as he gives.
Well, over that he takes it. He's got a level 2 stadium, which he doesn't. He's got some security going on there, riots and pitch invasions. That's a good thing.
Fairgrounds. That's awesome.
So, Preach.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself and how you got to coach this team.
Well, you have to go back to season. You have to go back 3 years. And I don't know if you guys know this. And if you don't, you should.
Because it's on the website.
Actually, this isn't. This isn't what I'm going to say. But good one there. You have to go back 3 years, and if you don't know this, in about a week, we will be celebrating our 3-year anniversary as a league.
So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for since 2016. So to understand where I am on this particular team, you have to go back 3 whole years to the to where the league started, and that was with the New Orkland Grunts,
Okay.
which are the premier orc team, of course.
YOLO.
And I coached them for quite a while until an event happened that Rand just brought up just there. And yeah, no, it's fine. Well, you have to also say to yourself, there's a detachment, right, between the persona of myself as a coach and the persona that I have to have, when we're talking here or when we're on Discord and things like that, because they're different. Because I have woven the story from the beginning as the digital coach. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's a little bit different than what we're just sitting here talking about. So just keep that in your mind. So as a coach, I had to walk away from that team for multiple reasons, which I invite everybody to go read about. But I walked away from that team, and I left the city of New Orkland and drove in the machine, which is my car, by the way, my post-apocalyptic Mad Max car, which, by the way, is in my garage right now, in real life. Anyway, so I drove, and I found myself in a deserted not deserted, but a desert, kind of how do I say, isolated, not deserted, isolated outpost of a place, right? And immediately I was accosted and kidnapped by a band of Skaven that are led by an evil dwarf named Cain. Okay? And through many mechanisms, which I also invite you to read, called which I entitled the Deadland or the Disputed Land Chronicles, I basically detailed out how I essentially had a psychotic break and ended up not really being myself and coaching being basically press ganged and coerced into coaching the Skaven team for a many number of years until it appeared that I had basically had my psychotic break was complete and my former self was gone, and they stopped dosing me with the drugs that they were giving me. And at the same time, a lady had come to that particular region, and I had spent a lot of time with her, and in the combination of those two things basically brought my old self back. Came to my senses, ended up having a scuffle with the Skaven team, was shot by Cain the dwarf, and left for dead. The lady that I had spent time with thought I was dead and ended up taking her own life. And a good friend, a fellow coach of mine who recently retired, showed up and I'll say rescued me. And basically we left. And I should back up a little bit and tell you, prior to that, a rodeo had come to that town, and it interests me because everybody knows that the best rodeos are put on by hobgoblins and bull centaurs. And the best rodeo people. Yep.
I did not know that.
They are. It's true.
Okay.
And so I was intrigued by it, and that was the first time that one of the bull centaurs named the Brute was ever ridden, and I was witness to that. It was a fabulous time. So anyway, I was rescued from Bartertown. We left. We had a few misadventures. One of them ended up in the county jail, and as we were leaving, I see a flyer for the same rodeo that I had saw, and basically ran off and joined the rodeo. And there you go.
Wow.
That is literally the 3-minute version.
Well, it's odd you say that. I mean, I know we was talking the other day on the chat and such like, but all of my teams, like yourself, you move from one team to another within the game outside of the fluff, and yet somehow I always try to write in why Coach Hawker would leave one team and start with the next, and try and justify the journey that we're on within the Blood Bowl world. So that's cool. I like
Absolutely.
that.
Yep. And you'll notice why. I mean, some people know, and maybe people don't even notice, but you'll notice on Discord there is a hashtag behind my name.
Yes.
Hashtag OG for life. Do you know what that means?
You're going to tell us.
Could you take a guess?
The original orcs, man. His OG, his orcs. New Orc Grunts for life, right?
Yep. Original grunts. Yeah, original grunts.
I
see a lot of people, and that's just it. A lot of people don't know why these things come about, but that's that's one of just a little piece of
Well, yeah. If you think about it, like you said it's been 3 years, and how many coaches have come and gone in those 3 years? How many coaches were here when the grunts were even playing that are here now? Like how there's a lot, but there's a lot of new ones that never got the pleasure of seeing the grunts play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think
so. There you go.
Those teams have passed. They're part of the history of the league, aren't they? And that's what's special. That's special. So let's look at.
So we all know the story. Let's talk about the team a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not your typical.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a rodeo, not a team.
Okay, my bad. But they're playing. And when you play, you have a team on the pitch. When you play, you have to be a team on the pitch.
Well, perhaps. you have to have a certain perspective if you're going to look through or look at the team in that light. But please go ahead.
It's not the typical. I mean, obviously it's a rodeo. It's not a Chaos Dwarf team. It's a rodeo. You know.
Yeah, you won't find any claw on this.
Yeah.
You won't find you won't find a smattering of when the other Chaos Dwarves are training, lifting the weights and sharpening claws on grindstones, and having they got the mats laid out so that they can practice, leaping into the air and landing on people. You won't find any of that.
I'll tell you what we did find, that one of your pre-season friendlies happened to be against my vampire team.
That is true.
Of which you chalked up a healthy 2-1 victory.
That is also true. That is also true.
And being as that I've only won 3 and lost 11, you're amongst good company. So,
I mean, if we're going to look on this as a team, like as a Blood Bowl, I mean, even if he's going different, even if he's, his only mutation is not sharpening claws, which is what a normal Blood Bowl Chaos Dwarf team would have, right? It's still a solid.
Well, what did we take? What did we take? We now people, I don't know what this tail is. A lot of people say tail.
It's like you got whips.
Well, it's what it is you'll notice that particular Chaos Dwarf, as any good rodeo clown needs, is a lasso. Yeah, it's a Mustang Steve. He has a lasso.
Yes.
So the other dwarfs will also be, hopefully lassos aren't cheap. Not a lot of rope and things going around in the disputed lands. But if we can get our hands on some, we will we'll try to outfit the rest of the team, because the bulls are really they're tough, to kind of corral in, and so you have to employ, when the game's over and they're just running around on the pitch, you gotta get them, back into their corrals, and the lassos really help with that.
Yeah, the brute looks like he doesn't like to be told what to do. He doesn't like to be told when to stop.
He looks angry.
He does go a little crazy sometimes. Again, he was only ever ridden once by a hobgoblin in a fancy suit that we have yet to track down. But yeah, he does. He'll get in a frenzy, get himself worked up every once in a while. But yeah.
So let's have a look at how he performs when he does play. So he has scored 3 touchdowns in 21 games. That's the 1 in 7. So expect at least 1 more across the season. And only 3 casualties. So he might get into a frenzy, but he's not the most what's the word we want? Aggressive? Killy?
Well, he really only gets that way if you try to antagonize him.
Yeah.
There's been some incidents where people have surrounded him, started throwing things and calling him names, and that he gets a little worked up about that. Doesn't like it, and so really only in those circumstances that he goes a little off.
It looks like he has given some concussions to some people, so.
Well, I mean, those hooves are flying around at a high speed.
Yeah.
Just beware if you're going to stand.
He likes to,
message.
Should we say, entertain the crowd close up with three crowd surfs, which is impressive for the when you think he's only played the 21 games, so he's early days yet. We're just looking at your other one, your other fellow. Caballo Diablo has scored 5 touchdowns, so he's a bit more of a.
He's faster. I mean, he's faster. You can see he's got better speed than the brute.
And he's played only 9 games, and yet nearly doubled the number of scores.
Yeah, well, now we used to have a guy, a bull on the team, and he caught the hoof and mouth disease, and we had to put him down. So
Sad.
Caballo Diablo is really fairly new to the team, but when we're out looking for replacements, um, he was actually raised with Mustangs, and so his speed is a little bit more built, as a thoroughbred than say a bull traditionally.
Well,
Superb. So, what are your aspirations and hopes with this season coming up, with the rodeo show and where it's going to go? Bearing in mind, I'm from Wales and I know absolutely zero about rodeos and what they even are. I think I
you
saw
don't even know
one.
what a rodeo is.
I saw one on the Dukes of Hazzard once. Does that count?
it's about the same thing. That's about
So
it.
I mean, in summary, this is how it works. So there's these gates, right?
Yep.
And when we come to town, we set up these. It's a series of chutes, little boxes with a gate that opens. We set them up in the end zone,
Right.
and the chute opens up to the pitch, not obviously to the stands, but to the pitch.
Yeah.
And then there's a little there's some scaffolding behind the chutes, and then the hobgoblins will come along and basically throw a rope around the underbelly of the bull, and then climb on the back, and then the dwarves will yank the chute open, and the bull basically jumps out, spins around, does some high dives, tries to buck off the hobgoblin, and the hobgoblin has to try to stay on there, for 10 seconds is the time frame in the disputed lands. And then if you do stay on for 10 seconds, that's a qualified ride, and you get a score, and there's some prize money. Hobgoblin bull centaur riding circuit is big pay for the ones that are good. So basically, we're touring around, putting on a good show for people, and that's why we got the security gate. We don't want any big shenanigans to be going on. Want everybody to come in and enjoy the show.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good show.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Superb.
All right, well.
So, should we have a look at our next? Are you hanging about, Preach? Can you finish this the division?
I'll hang out
Excellent.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Right, that's superb, brilliant. So let's look at these. Who are these? Cowent? Cowent. That sounds like
Cowent.
Cowent. Yeah, that's Cowent. That sounds like someone not too far away from where I am now. So we are looking at humans. Let's have a look.
Some humans. Oh man.
I'm going to have a look at them. They are on a 50%, 5 wins and 5 losses with 2 draws in their warm-up to the season.
So I'm just going to go out and start this off with humans are probably the most versatile team in Blood Bowl. You can go any way with them. It looks like he's gone one way with this team.
Well, I'm not looking at the team, and you are, and the people at home, unless they've got their machines on, aren't. But I'm seeing here that he's made 16 successful catches to score 21 of his touchdowns with. So 146 yards passing. Am I right, Lines?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
So, and then his 111 injuries and 2 kills, only 25 actual casualties inflicted. That's actually wait, 25 casualties and 2 kills in 12 games. That's
brutal.
That's what I was saying. That this team, he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
The bashier side on the humans.
He has. I mean, my concern with that might be along the lines that we all know that humans, whilst they're the most versatile, they're also not the best at anything either. And
Yep.
they get into the wrong sort of fight with the wrong sort of people. Who knows what might happen?
Yeah, he's got a pretty selfish team too. They're not really going to help each other out when they're standing next to each other, you know?
No.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, as far as humans go, it's a human team.
Yeah, it's fairly standard stuff. What jumps out at me? He's got just the 11 players on the roster, and his bank balance is not looking particularly wonderful.
Yeah, well, maybe he didn't have, didn't have enough time, things.
Well, it looks like he's about max on his TV, the team value. They've spent as much money as they could to get into the season, so.
It'd be interesting to know if where is this guy from? Yeah, somebody's pointed out the ogre's got blocked. Goron, is he from Wales? Because Caerwent is in Wales, obviously. It's a little village in Wales, not too far from where I live, in Monmouthshire.
I don't know, I think he's in America, isn't
he? Is he really?
He's a US guy, yeah.
Wow.
That is the rumor.
Well, Caerwent is probably...
as far as we know.
It's probably about 20 miles from my house, Caerwent. No, I'm lying. 15 miles from my house.
If you look at the names of his team,
let's do that.
It's got a pretty
I see what he's gone with.
Obvious, yeah.
Yeah. He's going with yeah.
Knights of the Round Table.
Indeed. Of which some people will say they're English, but some would say they're Welsh, but it's difficult to say from the time period and all the rest of it, and the way that this little island was divided up back then. But yeah, that's cool. No.
All right, well that's a pretty good team. I mean, that's the thing is like you're going to see a lot of different strategies on being able to enter the CL. Like both teams you just looked at are new teams. And they both have gone pretty much different directions on getting under the cap and into the CL. So.
See, Alma's just saying some say there was fiction. Well, that's not strictly true because there was a Lancelot and an Arthur, and there's a place just down south from where I am where where's the castle used to be called? Wherever the castle was called is based. So it existed. Whether the flavour of King Arthur and the Round Tables and Merlin and all the rest of it is the stories we know, and the sword is true or not, that's a different thing. That's the story that attached with it. But apparently these guys was about at some point. So interesting stuff.
And now they're in the Disputed Lands Conference and Fun Claypool.
And now, yeah. Cornwall. But whereabouts in Cornwall? Can you remember, Andy? It's Tinton Abbey, near Tinton. I can't remember of it. Yeah.
Oh, he's in the DLC with the rodeo gang, so.
Yep, that is correct.
Wow. Well, I've flicked across to the next team. We've got Detroit as Gotham. And I'm disturbed a little bit by the view that I see. So
okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that I had kind of maybe a little bit of an inspiration in this team. He has played me twice now. Well, J-Rad and I have played. I think J-Rad and I have played the last 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons in the CL against each other. And he's always had a thing for my Nurgle team.
Well, he's 656 on his warm-up games. He's somehow...
He was in the CL last season. So he was in last season. This is a returning team.
Yep, that's a returning team.
Well, Andy...
My merry band of men beat them 2-0 last year. So
Andy Von Cooks just asked a good question. Why are these human team not Bretonians with names like they've got? Interesting. Maybe they wasn't worthy.
Maybe that's a question for the coach.
Yes. So yes, this team 656 in their pre-season warm-ups. They've had 1 successful interception, 17 scores, and 10 catches. That is unexpected.
A little bit.
Yeah,
they had a pretty rough season in the CL last season. I don't think they won a game. They had 4 draws and 3 losses last season.
Wow.
Granted, they were in a pretty tough pool, and they were fairly new last season. They're a little bit more developed this season, so um, he's got that injured Minotaur. They are an
Minotaur.
ugly looking team, though. If you look at that team page, like those nasty tentacles flailing around all
Yeah,
over the
no,
place.
it's got too much going on. It's not very photogenic. I would say it's probably one of the more uglier teams in the entire league, if I'm honest.
I think it looks pretty. I think it's a beautiful picture.
I mean, you show up for picture day, and that's when the cameras mysteriously stop working, because it's just nobody wants to film that.
Yeah, it's disgusting looking.
Okay, well, if we look at the team itself, which I feel like is a beautiful team, okay, I do enjoy this team. It's very, I would say it's a non-standard chaos team, yeah.
I mean, you're looking at basically a chaos team that is invested in a lot of long phallic appendages.
Yeah.
Lots of them, yes.
It's
It looks
almost
like they like their mutations. They're close to their chaos gods. We'll say that.
they are. It'd be interesting to see how this develops, because what's nice to see is, like you say, they've got these additional appendages, but normally a lot of your traditional chaos coaches go down a very predictable linear route, and these guys are not doing that. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. It's a unique variation. I'm a huge fan of when coaches have vision about how things are going to go, and they stick with that vision.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah. One thing I've always found is you can get teams that develop in a particular way, they become one-dimensional, and then, like you say, if the coach hasn't got the vision or whatever it is to change that dimension, they become predictable, and then easier to, should we say, beat on the playing field. So it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to cause problems. I think for a lot of different teams, I really do. I like it.
I like the idea. I just don't know if his players are going to have the strength to hold on to other players with those tentacles. Those appendages are designed to hold on to the players and keep them still, right? You're basically getting hugs. You're trying to get hugs from people, but you also need the strength. And I don't know if this team is strong enough for this.
See, I'm go on.
I was just going to say, I mean, one of the issues you have, of course, is the tentacles they don't, they're functional, but they don't reach very far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless they can get close to somebody, I mean, they're just flapping in the breeze.
Yep.
Yeah, and whilst I think they'd be good for shutting down some more agility type teams, your Skaven, your Wood Elf type things, I wonder, they've got some tools to deal with your more grindier, bashier teams, but are they trying to do too much?
I think it's. I don't think they're trying to do too much. I don't think they've done enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I applaud. I mean, first of all, these are gross mockeries of the lassos.
Yes.
That the dwarves have. But outside of that,
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's a good strategy. I mean, he's only coming in at 1660 to try to compete. I think it's a good strategy for the long term.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, a lot of people well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to win the championship, and then profit. And that's not really how things work. If you don't have that mindset and you're building for future, and you're building towards something, I mean, you can't. You don't have enough time and games and experience to do it right away, and so you have to do it over the course of many different time frames. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great foundation for whatever that vision is.
Yeah.
And I'm back, by the way. You don't see that too much, very much anymore. I think in the CL, I think a lot of it's the min-max, get in and try to win right away. This guy is taking the slow approach. He knows that he might not win now, but he's building his foundation to where he will be winning later. And that's what the CL should be about. And I enjoy this team because it's not there yet, but it's got the potential to be there.
Yeah. So. Cavalier Archer's after sushi, squid sushi, just on the inspiration of this team alone. What can you say? Yeah, like you say, there's definite vision. He's got an angle. Whoever this is, Jay Ryder.
Jay Ryder's been around for a while. Like I said, I've played him the last 3 or 4 seasons. So.
Yeah. No, I like that. Okay, so who's up next? We go into more humans, I believe.
Oh man, lots of humans in this pool, huh?
Yes, yeah. Coach H.C. Fenslow.
So did they play last season or?
Well, I'm just going to.
What are we doing? I'm sorry.
The something Melbourne Pioneers.
Okay, yeah.
They
are a return team. Yeah.
They are bragging 4 wins, 10 draws, 15 losses.
Yeah, they have been. They have not, we'll say, realized their full potential.
No.
But they've been around for a while. I mean, it's not they. Yeah. I mean, if you look at their thing, it's not a new team. I think, if I remember correctly, do not quote me on this. They have been plagued with a rash of injuries.
Yeah, they're still carrying some.
Just player contract disputes and things like this that have, cost them. We'll say players.
Well, let's just look at their last season and the teams they had to play against last season. They played against the Scavengers, Stop Rolling Runs, the Rolling Ones, Golden Discipline, Disco Divas, the Newsland Mornings. So they had a tough 7 games last season. I don't think they won a single one.
And there's a lot of those. If you look at it, the Rock the Cows box 2-0, 4-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. There's a 1-1 in there, 2-0, 2-0. They took the wrong ends of the score lines in that.
Yeah, well, they got beat up. I mean, like they have that injured Ogre still. They have a few injuries on. I mean, these guys should be in the crippled play pool.
Yes. Yeah, which we reviewed yesterday. But yeah, these they've got some, like you say, there's potential there, but they carrying some injuries. I think
they haven't been able to build up the potential because they've been they're just getting beat up. They have 0 gold in the bank. Man,
they got a deep bench as well.
They need a season of rebuilding is what they need.
And stabilizing, maybe.
Maybe this is it.
Maybe. I'll be interested to see how these get on. I really will.
So they played Preach's Rats last season, so this will be a rematch of the coaches with a new team.
Well, first of all, that's Kane's Rats, not mine.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah, how did they do? I was not present for that game.
Oh, my bad. The Rats beat them 4-0 last season. So.
Oh, yeah. It's a good Rat team.
Pretty bully. They were pretty much bullied that team. But anyways, I digress.
Well, it happens.
Now we have Preach, so Preach will be playing against him and not him.
Yeah.
Not Kane. So
I look forward to it. I can say that he's a very personable and good guy, good coach.
Yeah.
And he just didn't have things go his way over the past couple seasons. But If you look at that, I don't. How many games has he got?
How many games played?
16.
20, 29. 29 games played.
29 games played. 4, 10, 15.
I think I'm gonna say a majority of those are in a league setting, not in the farm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you consider that, what you have is exactly what we just talked about, and that is a coach that, regardless of the circumstances, has a vision that they're sticking with.
Yeah.
Right now, that being said, it's either one of two things. They have no time to do anything else, and this is the team they play, and they play one time, and they're okay with that, right? And that's fine. Or it's a coach that has this vision. That's what they're going with. They have a theme. You know, I mean, look at the team. They all wear the same colors and uniforms. I mean, how many teams can say that?
Yeah.
So, it's just you know, you have a sort of progression that, while it hasn't gone the way that the coach might have wanted it, they're still sticking with it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said for the coaches that do that versus the coaches that just, you know, switch it up.
Yeah, they switch it up every season. You know, I mean, I'm kind of guilty of that the last couple seasons, but I've only played 2 different teams. But yeah,
Well, we've got
in today's game, you see someone loses a couple star players or whatever, or has a couple injuries that they don't like, and then all of a sudden they're switching teams. You know,
well, we've got
quitting. You know,
Cavaliers saying the team's got some good stories on the website that are worth a good read. So that adds depth to what you're saying. Definitely.
Yep,
this Claypool's got a lot of good stories,
regardless of record.
Yeah, this Claypool, like you say, it's got some depth to the teams, to the stories, which is nice. Especially because we were saying this yesterday with the other Challenge League, it lacked. It was new teams yet to find their rivalries, find their grudges, whatever it be. Whereas this division, there's depth to the teams already. We can see.
Well, there's a lot more returning teams in this division.
Yeah.
Most actually 3, 4. So half the teams in this division have been in the league the previous season. So it's a lot more returning teams here than there was in the other one, where you only have one story on the team instead of having multiple stories or multiple seasons to build a story off of.
So let's have a look at our Wood Elves, the Redwood Rangers. And the first thing I see, which I haven't seen yet, come on, Rand, you tell me. A tree.
These guys could be in the Cripple League too. Jeez.
Wow, let's have a look at that. They have picked themselves 18 wins, 9 draws, 10 losses. 92 successful catches in such a short span. 37 games with 80 touchdowns. That's insane. But holy moly.
I'm not a fan of this team. In fact, I'm going to tell you I don't like it.
Okay.
Why? Because they don't have stories?
Nope. Because in those lucid moments where I do remember playing games, I remember this team twice. And it did not go well for me. So I'm just going to very selfishly say I don't like them.
So I've played Fox the last 2 seasons. I played him with Nurgle 2 seasons ago, and I played him with the Humans last season. First time I played Fox in this Wood Elf team, he beat me 3-1, crushed my Nurgle team. My Nurgle team that was favorites to win it all, you know, blah blah blah. He crushed them. Yep. So I come back next season with my Human, my Merry Band of Men, and beat him 2-1, and it was a total opposite flip, right? So I don't have a hate or love-hate for his team, but I don't like the team.
Here's the deal. He plays them. He coaches them very well.
Yes, he does.
They're a well-disciplined team when they're on the field. They seem to listen more than a lot of the teams that I've seen listen to their coach. They're not. I wouldn't say they're not a large squad. But they do come with a smattering of abilities across the board that kind of gives them a little bit, I don't want to say extra is the word I'm looking for, but just it kind of gives them optionality.
an edge.
And it, like I said, they're just coached really well, and they really listen, which is, in my experience, really rare. So
yeah,
I'm probably my disgust is probably more jealousy than anything else.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
well, it's been highlighted about Mighty Branch being mighty, but not very quick, even for a tree man. But I suppose his job on the field.
He's slow by tree man standards.
But I suppose his job on the field, largely, when I play with Els, is to control the centre of the field. And to be fair, he's going to do that well.
Yep.
What's Crump's Swift Blade? It is. I would be a little bit concerned by the number of various different injuries.
And what else? They don't care.
You know, I'm gonna step back from my coaching persona and just give you, you know, a little, I'll say insight, but that doesn't mean it's wisdom. So, when I was coaching the Rats, right?
Yeah.
I was notorious for game after game running with a broken team. I had like 3, maybe 4 guys that were strength 2.
Yeah.
That I refused to fire. And I can tell you that a lot of the coaches that I played underestimated, or I should say overestimated, those particular Rats on the field, and they would call in their friends when they went to blitz or when they went to throw a block on what they perceived to be a standard run-of-the-mill line Rats, but little did they know that these Rats are sickly and have they're weak, and I got away with a lot of openings because they would have to dedicate some of their players elsewhere, thinking that a line Rat is a line Rat. So there is some, in my estimation, some amount of strategy. Now I was talked out of that. But I'll stand by it when it was going on.
Yeah, I can see that to a certain degree.
I remember that because I remember talking to Preach like, wow, didn't you have like a strength 1 gun runner at one point? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think for gutter runners catchers, they could possibly get away with it. It does mean that they're getting knocked down easier, but their role.
What do you think about this weak thrower that he's got?
I mean, but they're only getting knocked down easier if you allow them to get knocked down.
Agreed.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Bullseye. What do I think to Bullseye? In my honest opinion, the bit that bothers me most is his movement, because his job.
It's harder to stay away from getting hit.
Not just that. When you need to make that distance before you make that pass, you can only throw the ball so far. That's extra distance by the amount you move. That's the bit that concerns, not his strength, because his role's vastly different. Whereas if you look at the war dancers, the stronger of the two, he needs to sort his armour out, because he's going to be in the punching line. People are going to be hitting him as he's hitting things. That's bad, in my view.
Yep.
The lineman, big deal. It doesn't matter. He's ready to go as soon as he has his week out and is recovered. He's ready to go. He's got a job to do. So that's my thought on those guys. The tree doesn't matter. The movement for the throw is big, as is the arm on the war dancer. And it depends how that transpires going through the season. We've already looked at some of the teams. Some of these teams are going to get some good hits on these boys.
We don't have a lot of. There wasn't a lot other than the second human team and the dwarves. There wasn't a lot of ways to bring them down now. Not a lot of tackling abilities. So
I tell you what, I have noticed. He does not have a team apothecary.
Probably couldn't afford one.
Well, he's got the bank
He
for
he
it.
might have had to fire it, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. He's got 90K, so he will.
Unless it's for TV cap reasons, I don't know. But was he relegated? Is he? I don't
If
know.
you're coming in at 1850, there's no TV cap reason.
No.
Yeah, he's got
Issue for
he's
you.
got 120K TV. He wasn't relegated or anything. He's been in the CL. He probably should have went pro a couple times, but he's had some rough seasons. So
Yeah.
I've been a part of them. So
Well, maybe it's a case of we're just waiting for his moment, and then it'll all come together, and that'll be it. You know.
Yeah.
Interesting team. Interesting team. So. And you can't make changes for game one, Trip's saying, which is obviously a good shout.
That's
So
correct.
let's have a look at the second vampire team for the season. The Musalon Morning Stars.
Ah, yes. Now I have. There was a word. They actually came to the rodeo.
Did they?
Once. They did.
Well, they've chalked up 1 win, 4 draws, 8 losses.
wait, these ones or the live ones or the dead ones?
What?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Nah, it probably was the other one.
Yeah.
Well,
Carry on. Forget I said.
these guys have got a win ratio that almost resembles mine. And they're also
close,
vampires. Yeah. So they're running 4 vampires and a big deep bench of thralls. That's nice to see.
I mean, it's I don't know, Sturm. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Drumpf is he's just recruited a bunch of dead people. And,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I really look forwards to after I was watching last night. Was watching a Blitz game that Drumpf was coaching, and after watching that, I will be really interested in when the rodeo comes to visit this team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was he talking smack or something?
Just he no, not at all. It was a fabulously coached game and a fabulously cordial what appeared to be coach chat, but he was probably a little too liberal in his scoring and may have won a game that he should have just not won. So
I saw that. I mean, that's great.
Nah.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, you guys play each other in Blitz.
So Sturm and I have been in the same play pool, minus the times that I've had to, have some military
Take
stuff
a
going
break.
on. It's
Yeah.
taking me out. We have been in the same playing pool for, and as you all know, Sturm is a great guy and has been here season 2, maybe season 4.
Long time, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time, and he's one of the guys that has. Now he's this. How do I even say this? So the Musalem Morning Stars, his team, his Bretonian team, he's stuck with that team through garbage. I mean, that team has been destroyed and rebuilt and destroyed, and he's told stories after story after story, and stuck with it. And it is, had it not retired, it probably could have made, one of the longest running teams in the league. He's been with that forever, and kudos to him. So for him to switch is great and refreshing. I think he's been very mindful, and in leaving his coaching contract over at with the Bretonians and coming on with the Vampires. I mean, it's there's not a lot going on with this particular team, but there's not a lot that he can particularly have going on. Going right into it. So, and that's fine. But I think he's going to be one of the coaches that it doesn't really matter. He could roll. He could sign up and roll a brand new team, and then 12 more seasons where it's still going to be here. So
Yeah.
good for him.
It's going to be fun to see. It's basically like flipping the script, the way these two teams play. I mean, he's not like going on to a similar team. He's playing a completely different style. So it'll be fun to see it. It'll be real fun
I don't
to
know
see
if
it.
either of you have ever played against his Vampires.
No.
No.
I would if
he is.
If you count his Vampires and Blitz, then I have, but
Yeah, He is he's very mindful and very thoughtful and very methodical with them. So he should do very well.
Well, Tripp's
He's
saying
got
that
lots
he
of.
mainly plays Vamps on tabletop as well. So
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I mean, it's weird, that we would have anybody here in the MML that is any good at tabletop by any means.
Yeah, right.
That would come and play a digital game. That just, why? What? That's not a thing, is it? Right?
That's not happen. No one plays tabletop on. Come on.
No, I think somewhere I might have one dice here. For those watching at home, that's my. I don't know how this tabletop thing works.
Yeah, it probably came. You guys probably came with Monopoly or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So, let's have a look at then another Wood Elf team.
Oh man, more
By
tree
Rourke.
huggers.
And they've got a tree. These guys are doing something right
man.
again.
Oh, they have the opposite kind of tree too. It's fast.
Well, they are boasting 4 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses from pre-season, I'm guessing.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's Roik. I didn't even realize it's Roik.
Roik, yeah, that tree is a beautiful tree.
I mean, it's no buttons, but it is.
It's not buttons, but it's got potential. It has potential.
Well, the one thing, I mean, I like my trees to jump up. When you decide to target the tree on a Wood Elf team, it's either you've got the ability to remove it there and then, so you're looking at your claw teams, or it's put it down and hope it doesn't stand back up. But anything that puts that down, if it doesn't break armor, he's tying up 4 or 5 players for the next turn, and that's where Wood Elves have fun.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
So this is another one of those. Roik's been around for a long time. He played Revang of the Dwarves, misspelled. For how many? I mean, a long time, right? Preach. I mean, he's been since I started, since like season 6. Yep. He's been around, and he plays. And here he's got stories, and he plays. He doesn't play your conventional, Blood Bowl way. So I mean, this will be fun watching him play a completely opposite team than what he's been playing with. Another Sturm type of switch. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, I like the look of this. I look at this. I really do. Be interesting to see how they get on, how they develop.
They're Wood Elves, though. Ugh.
There's nothing wrong with Wood Elves. No, there's nothing wrong with Wood Elves.
He's got that freak of a catcher. Ugh.
Yeah, he could potentially go on to great things if he can look after him. He really could.
He's got a good start. He's got 12 catches in 10 matches with 8 touchdowns.
Do you know what I'm not a fan of on that catcher? His ability to guard others.
Yeah.
He's fast, he's agile, but to make that work, you kind of have to be near somebody. And that catch does not want to be near people.
Well, it looks like development didn't quite go as planned on him as it was started.
Yeah. Maybe he hadn't unlocked his potential when he picked up guard.
He changed his mind shortly after finding that he did not like helping other teammates.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to help from over here. Okay.
Bravely run away.
Let's have a look at our last one in the player pool. We're looking at Dignity.
Ooh, man.
And Seston.
If there was ever a team with history, we're looking at it right now.
Well, let's have a look at his statistics so you can tell us all about it. 26 wins, 13 draws, 14 losses.
In his play pool.
Yes.
In his play pool.
108 touchdowns scored. So tell me a little bit about this team then.
You can go ahead and start it off, Preach. He was around before I was around.
Well, first of all, they have none.
Yep.
So, I mean, what do we say? I mean, they're a bunch of bullies,
Yep.
Posers, just not nice in any way. No, I'm kidding. Dignity is they've been around. They have some great great stories. Seston, the coach, is well known for sending a fruit basket if you outpass him, which does beg to note that they Dignity was the game after the legendary Leroy Jenkins was killed, and I had reached out at the time to Seston to say, hey, let's have a moment of silence. If you wouldn't mind, the New Orleans Grunts are going to have a moment of silence on the first turn of our game because we were playing them the next week. And I said, as a moment of silence, we will be skipping our first turn. We are inviting you to skip your first turn as well. And so as More Shots gave a wonderfully rendered eulogy for Leroy Jenkins, we both skipped our turns, and then Dignity went and got the ball and made an attempt. They had received the ball, but they had made an attempt to actually pick up the ball and throw it as a sign of respect back to the Grunts. They failed in that attempt, which it is rumored by some was on purpose so that they can continue to have the ball. #No dignity. But they have a great history. You will also make note that this story is all about me, and it is in a game against Dignity versus the New Orleans Grunts that won the most prolific goblin in all of MML history, Iggy Max, threw a touchdown pass and actually had more passing yards himself than the entire Dignity team, which resulted in a fruit basket being delivered to Iggy by the team. So Seston, he's a great storyteller, great documenter of what's going on with his particular team, and it's always exciting to watch them play.
Well, Seston's just said that failed pass you speak of was one of Royalty's only failed passes, which leads me to wonder as to how much, it
was actually failed.
Yeah, was it an accidental fail or not?
Yeah, when he's pretty much automatic his entire career, but then he happens to miss that pass, oops.
Oh dear, I missed.
You do also have to watch out for rocks when you're against Dignity. They're pretty.
So there we have it.
This is a great team, though. A lot of history. Now they will have so is this? We have we have a couple other championship teams, in the league still. So never mind.
They are former champs. They're pretty beat up though.
They are.
There's only 8 elves on the team right now. So
yeah, but that won't take. I mean, it won't take long.
So the question then, if we look back at the teams that we've got ahead of us,
excuse me,
who is your gentleman who Dignity are not for the champs, not for me champs? What's he saying there? Not former champs. Dignity are not former champs. Sorry, I split my screen. Who's your pick, Rand, for the title for this division?
Okay, wrong team. The other health team. My pick for to go to the playoffs, to the top. No, this is probably the hardest decision I've had in our 3 reviews.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna call Fox and his Wood Elves are gonna break through finally, and they're gonna win it all this season.
Preach. What do you reckon?
I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm in the pool.
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
I think that you. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say nobody's ever said our commission is corrupt either, have they?
No.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I make the playoffs, you will know that I have rigged.
Oh, we've lost Communications.
No, I'm back.
Ah.
Corrupt things happening.
Yeah, if I make the playoffs, you will know that I have paid to make that happen. So that's not happening. I don't know. I really don't know. I
It's
think
tough.
that Seston has a good chance. I think that you will see an inordinate amount of wins from the Vampires. I think the Rangers probably have the best shot at getting there. Just looking at the teams, but I don't know.
They are the most
difficult.
developed team, right? They look like they're the most developed team, anyways.
I mean, it really just depends on how the rodeo goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm thinking I'm going to go out on a bit of a... I'm going to go for Dignity because they're a bit beat up. We know this. However, there's a lot of free agents out there that can come in and do a job, and that also means those free agents may well protect key players. They're definitely going to be bringing their own fair share of inducements to each game. So I think they could be the ones to... They're coached by a quality coach. So I'm going to go with them, I think.
Well, I mean, that's the safe call for your health when it comes to Dignity.
Yeah,
when
true.
leaving the studio here, had you not said that, unlike me and Rand, who will have to leave through the underground entrance,
Yes.
you have no fear of being hit by a Dignity rock.
This is true. This is true.
We have been around for a while and are, we're wise to these particular things, and have made other arrangements.
Yes.
As soon as I knew it was cool, I had other arrangements.
This is where me being new to the league, shall we say, I'm learning, and I'm taking the safe option to start, which brings us onto our wild card. Who do you think could be the surprise package?
I'm honestly going to say I think you are going to be surprised with the Hobgoblin Rodeo. A lot of people are going to be looking at it and thinking that it's not a good entertainment value for their money. But after having seen them, we'll realize that it's really a family event, and probably the best bang for your buck when it comes to an experience in this particular part of the world.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say, depending on how the rodeo goes, they could be a wild card of fun. But I'm thinking it's going to be Carowinds, the human team. I think they could be surprising. If they stay healthy, they'll be all right.
Well, I'm going to go with the rodeo and Preacher's Rodeo. 2 reasons. Firstly, I'd like to stay in this league, so again I'm edging with the safe bet and the corrupt. But I think with the lassos, with the various different stuff that's going on, look at the other teams within this, there's a lot that could go very right or very wrong, just depending on which side of the coin you're looking at. So that's my shout for them, I think.
What's the lasso?
The lasso, the tails.
Sorry, I'm just being an ass. That's good.
That's nothing new there.
So who's going to be
normal things happening?
Yeah, I guess you need to be on that side of the pond to understand that humour, because I didn't get it.
It's a lasso.
He doesn't either. Don't worry about it.
Well, I beg to differ. We made this language up. You just borrowed it.
We made it better. We completed it.
So who's going to struggle? Who's going to be sat near the bottom?
Wentz, whatever.
Car Wentz.
Say that.
Care Went.
Yeah. And I think Detroit is Gotham is. Here's the deal. Detroit and Gotham is a wild card, and I don't mean a wild card in the sense of playoff wild card.
Yeah.
I think it's a wild card in the pool. I think they're going to actually do very well, but not have the record to show it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And so I think you're going to end up with a very nice season for Detroit as they progress along and get developments and things. But because of just who's in the pool and the skill sets and the way that they have gone approached their game, it's not going to reflect like they want on the scoreboard, and that might be fine because this might be the season where they actually define themselves further.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the same thing. Like, it depends. It really all depends. Like, his team's not there yet. They're not. I don't know if they're ready to push for a win, but they're getting there. So if they can maybe get a little lucky, but I think it's gonna be the
Pioneers, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
team. I just don't think they're even less developed. I think they're even less there than the Chaos team, and that might have been due to injuries, and they are injured. So
I think the Pioneers. For me, we spoke about humans being able to change it up, but they're playing specialists in their own fields. They're not gonna be able to get into the fight with the bashier sides or out past the ball with the quicker sides. Plus the injuries they carry, I think, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. But this whole pool is arguably the tightest one we spoke about. Granted, it's only the third one, but
for CL for sure, like this is gonna be pretty much anybody's game to start the season. So
yeah,
there's not really one breakaway team or one really not break. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, whoever comes up with these play pools just must be have some crystal ball of geniosity that allows them to look into the future.
Have you seen the CL? Have you seen the CL East pools? I didn't know if you. I don't know if you know who does it or anything. But have you seen the pools?
No, I've not looked at those. No.
He must just forget about the East when he throws that stuff together.
You mean the pillow fighting league? you are aware.
Why do you think I ran away over there? Why do you think I ran away?
I know. Yeah, that's why most of the champions come from the East.
Oh, that's I'm not even gonna be no shame in my game. I went East in Blitz, and I went East in CL, and I'm going easy all season, both leagues.
Easy mode.
Easy mode. Right. So, firstly, I want to say thanks to Preach for joining us. It's been an honour and a pleasure to have you in. And no doubt we'll catch up with your team at some point, find out how you're progressing, and expand on this fluffier side of Blood Bowl.
That's what I do. And I appreciate you guys doing a good job.
Well, we try our best. I don't know about a good job. It's, wing it as we go.
Are you sure we're doing a good job?
Let's just settle with doing a job.
All right, that's
fair.
Right, we've got requests. I don't know what you had in plan for next round, but we got requests for the Pro East.
Yeah, we're doing the final Pro East team.
Okay, so let's...
I'm going to take off unless anybody has any questions for me.
Has anyone got any questions for Preach while Rand works out what we're doing?
We might not be doing the Pro East because it might not have everybody...
Oh, yes.
You can still do it, though. You can still do it because you can go in and look at the invited teams. There's only one team that has accepted their ticket, so...
Yeah, we could do that. We've got requests. Stolzy wants his done, so we'll should we look at the Pro East and then jump over to Stolzy's league? What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is if we do the Pro East, we should probably finish with the CL East, and then we'll be done with the East, and we can do...
No, Beers, that's the first pool, Beers. That's the first pool tonight. So let me just bring up while we...
All right, lads, I'm out.
Cheers, Preach. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So we have done...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, wait, no, we're good.
So we've got...
the other one...
CL
the other one,
East.
It's WAC WFC, I think, right? Is the others?
Good night, Seston, or good luck for work, or whatever time zone you're in. It's night time for me, so bear with me. Well, we got Death and Destruction Total Knuckle Alliance in the Challenge East. So that would be a good. And then if we was to hit the Pro East,
the WAC WFC should be our next one.
Yes, so let's hit the Pro East then, the WAC WFC. That's
everybody's in it. We got 8 teams. But are we gonna take a break, or are we just gonna go right into it? Oh yeah, let's see. Gotta get our Canadian in here.
We gotta get our Canadian in here. Cheers, Seston. It's 1 PM there, and here, well, you can't see out there, but out there it's as dark as it gets. Yeah, we'll take a quick breather. We'll leave it running. We'll be 2 minutes. We'll get our Canadian in, and I'll open up this so people can see what it looks like. And I'm just going to go and grab a drink, stretch some legs. I'll be 1 minute.
Alright, I'm going to go find our Canadian, unless Beers wants in too. Beers, it's going to be Doomfrog, I think. He said he'd help us. Alma, what do you mean before you preview no agenda? You should see the other CL West division though, okay? It's got 2 Chorfs and 3 Orcs, I think. I think it's got 2 Chorfs and 3 Orcs, or 2 Chorfs and 2 Orcs in it. Stupid. Alright, let me find this Canadian here.
Okay. So we are looking for. Has our Canadian friend joined yet?
Not quite. I just messaged him.
Okay. Who was supposed to? Was it Doomfrog, wasn't it? Thanks,
yeah,
Dalsey.
I just messaged him, and I invited him as well. So we'll see. If not, we can just randomly try to get someone in here, or we can just do it, you and me.
Well, we can.
Better winners.
I think it's better with 3. So, let's put it out to the stream. Oh!
Almost home. Okay.
Doomfrog's almost home. So we'll make a start without him. Shall we do that?
Well, I mean, do I have time to take a piss and all that?
Yes, you do, sir.
I should have been doing that when I was trying to find Doomfrog. So.
Yeah, you do that. We'll give him a couple of minutes, and we'll go from there.
All right, yeah, we'll talk. We'll go. We'll get him in. He'll be here for 10 minutes if I catch. Okay.
Right, Beers, jump in, Beers. While we're waiting for Ram to do what he's doing, you jump in, and we'll take it from there.
I don't know if we can handle 2 Canadians at once, but
we'll only have one.
Try.
We'll have to sub him out at half time.
All right, give me like 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. You guys
and then
talk.
We'll get Stolzy in for the last one and his own player pool.
Perfect.
There we go. So Beers, join in the group. Stolzy, make sure you're ready for the last player pool because we'll call you in for that one. Meanwhile, if you look in the background, you can see my fish. Some of them are hiding. What's Beers doing? Is he loading his thing up? Is he going to be here?
How do I look in HD?
What's up?
Hello, Beers. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent. So, what do you think so far? Are we doing it right?
Sounds good to me so far.
Good. Good.
Hopefully everybody can hear me on the thing you do.
Well, I'm sure someone will tell me if they can't hear you, because if not, I'm just talking to myself right now, and that's weird.
Oh. It's just an educated conversation.
Well, yeah. This is looking like a really interesting pool, you know.
Which one are we looking at?
We're looking at the WOC, WFC, the WAC WFC.
The whack. Going to the whack.
All right, I'm ready whenever we all are.
Well, where do you want to start? I believe we've got some history on some of these guys.
We've got history on a lot of these guys.
Yes, we do.
Oh, wow, we do.
I know we've got some stuff on the pumas, the squirrels. I've seen one of the squirrel. In fact, I was fortunate enough to host one of the squirrels' games, grudge match against some dwarfs or something. All I saw was...
Oh, you hosted that game, huh?
Yeah, all I saw was squirrels get smashed to pieces. It was grim.
They once had a game where they didn't roll one POW.
So where do you want to start? Do we want to start at the top or the bottom?
Start at the top and go to the bottom. Let's do this. Let's go regular. Go back to our regular way.
Yeah.
Pumas.
Las Pumas.
Go to the
A human team that has been around for a long time.
Longest running team, I do believe, next to the Rats of NTBs.
Well, they've bragging in at 45 wins, 16 draws, and 41 losses. That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
100 games. 102, right? Is my math right there? 102? Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got 191 touchdowns scored with 141 successful catches and inflicted 181 casualties.
See, they do what humans do. They do it all. They don't do it the best, but they do everything.
Yes, they do. So somebody tell me a bit about this team.
Go ahead, start, Beers.
No, go ahead, but I'm just loading something up. Let me get over here.
Well, I don't know too much about the Pumas, only because I haven't played in the East at all. Did you know? Are they the human team that won it? Did they win it?
Yep.
Yes,
I believe they did win it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. They are former champs. This team. They've been there. They've been there. They've done that. They've been in the thick of things. They know what they're doing. Yeah, season 4. They won it in season 4, so they've been around at least since season 4. Jeez.
I think I'm looking that up. One sec. Season 2, I think they came in.
Season 2, yeah, I think they've been around since season 2, which that means this will be the 13th season, which is insane. They look like they've been around. They have a beat up team. They're pretty almost like they could be in the crippled league as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be a thing. Like all these crippled teams. They've played. I think they've played almost, if not all, most of their games have been league games.
Well, I've got some inside information from the coach. They were founded in 1980 by Senor Diaz. And the stadium was built on an old graveyard, and it was the only space available for the pitch, so the stadium is called the Graveyard. The uniforms are black to pay respects to the dead underneath the stadium and to the opposing players that will perish. The owner is still Senor Diaz, and he was cryogenically frozen and retained his ownership. The head coach is Disco Dave, and a very handsome man. I'll give you two guesses who wrote this, who enjoys the finer things in life, like disco and cider. The awards that they have won is the McMurtry's Famous Bowl winners in Season 3, the SCC winner in Season 4, the MML Pro Champions in Season 4, Goblin Gambling Bowl winners in Season 5 and 8, and the Hall of Fame is Conor McGregor, a natural one-turner who scored 28 touchdowns in 24 matches and led the team to the pro title. Maximilian Felch went under the radar during the championship winning season with the exploits of McGregor, but a very agile human who constantly scoops up the ball and gave it to the main man for the score. And Alric Frege, the most agile human ever to live, and some say his mother was a wood elf. He has been smelt to a good, but he's smelt too good to be a part elf. Royce Gracie, a serial killing machine, a blitzer with 7 confirmed kills, a pure legend who was instrumental in all of their trophies. So they're a well-decorated team.
None of those people that you mentioned are currently on this team either.
No.
Royce died as well.
Yeah.
And they did win 2. They won 2 Goblin Gambling Bowls.
Yes.
And they also won the McMurdy's Bowl as well.
So, I'm new to this, and there's other coaches out there that are news to us. What is this, the McMurtles and the Goblin Gambling and...
I'll let Beers explain it. He's actually been to a bowl or 2, so...
Yeah, I've been in a few. Yeah, they're bowl games. They're for teams that don't make the playoffs, but still put up solid records. So
Right.
500 plus. They had a winning record, so over 500, I guess. They were the conference champion as well. There's a couple ways to get into a bowl game, but it's only for the pros though. So
Okay.
I've seen up to 6 different type of bowl games as well.
Well,
yeah, you can have an unlimited amount of bowl games depending on records, but you have to have more wins than losses and draws, right? You have to be over both of those.
500, yeah.
Yep.
Well, Blue Max has just jumped on. He wants me to wear a Hawaiian shirt for my next preview show. I don't know.
That would be nice.
I don't know if I've got one. I'll see what I can do. What can I say? But what we need to do is get hold of Preach. Do we have any MML merchandise? Maybe I need to get an MML shirt.
Well, there's tons of
on the
MML.
website.
You can have whatever you want, really, man. You can order pretty much whatever you want MML style.
And where would I go to order this?
On the website. Or talk to Preach.
MMLpro.com.
Exactly. So head there, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to buy your own merchandise. That was a shameless plug that almost
nice
worked.
Plug. Nice little plug.
You took your time to catch on to that. So anyway, back to the Pumas.
They are a pretty good looking. They have some injuries. Actually, they have some injuries on some pretty star players of theirs.
Yeah,
some
looking
pretty,
at Lazy
devastating
Smurf.
injuries.
He looks pretty quick.
He's beat up though. If he gets hit, he's probably staying down.
Yeah, same with Lazy Smurf. But you got to always watch where that catcher's at on that field because he can score from anywhere.
Yes.
Yep, he's strong.
Well,
wait, does he have a minus and a plus on his strength?
He was strength 3 at one time, and he did suffer an injury, and now he's back to strength 2.
Wow.
As well as armor down and just armor down.
He's got a fractured skull and a smashed collarbone. The guy, and he's still playing.
Yes.
That's some strength right there.
Commendable.
He's out the first game of the next season though, but.
Well, then we got Rain Advar, he's got himself a smashed hip, a serious concussion, and a broken neck. Like he's playing with a broken neck. Like not a big deal.
No big deal. I'll just punch things. That makes things easy.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
So that's the
I like
Pumas.
this team though. It's pretty well developed. I mean, granted, it's been around forever, but yeah.
Well, it's nice to see that you've got legends like the Smurf and then you've got like Romford Pele coming through, finding his game and whatnot. It's nice to see.
Yeah, his first game he ever played in season 2 was a loss too.
Was it really?
A team I never heard of, the Ramblers, the Roquefort Ramblers.
Wow.
Never heard of them. They didn't stay
Season
around
2,
long.
way back. Lost to the Frozen Thorns, the Bills. He beat Leaping Lizards. He beat.
Ooh, that's a good
Wow,
team
this is
to
way
beat.
back in season 2 though.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams I don't recognize though.
See, every man wants his team to be talked about in 5, 10, 15 seasons' time. But I don't know many who want to be highlighted. Their first game was a loss. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, are we going to move on to the?
We are.
The next team.
Thunden and his Wood Elves. He has a tree.
CL champs coming in.
Well, I've had the pleasure to sit opposite Thunden on a tabletop. A very gentlemanly, nice guy. But this team brags 16 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses.
Yep, they came in like a wrecking ball. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good season last season. They won it all. I mean, what more can you say about that?
Well, Stolzy's not impressed with this team, but I'll tell you what impresses me. That pair of war dancers look like between them they can do anything.
I believe one of those were transferred.
Yeah. You can tell by the name. It's probably self-assessment because, he doesn't look like he fits the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Which happens to be goddess. Gods.
I don't like that word answer. That's nasty.
But here's the deal. This team is trying to keep the ball away from this team is going to be next to impossible. Like, you're just going to have to pray because they're going to get the ball if they want it.
Yeah, and that was his transfer. Looking quick there, that was his transfer.
Stolzy's telling me
definitely beat this team up.
He won the CL because of tripwire.
That's a pretty big statement there, Stolzy. I don't know if I'd be spewing that out without proof.
See,
it's actually true, though.
I'm a firm believer, to take nothing away from Stolzy. Did you know my first ever game in the MML was against Stolzy? Ask him how it got on. I think we said yesterday I won.
We talked about it yesterday.
We've got another Canadian in chat. Welcome, Doomfrog. So yes, if a coach isn't in range that he has to go for it, isn't that the coach's fault rather than the tripwire?
Yeah, unless it was the other coach who's,
superior defending.
Into account.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to take into account the defending. How many numbers you have in the first place? You could be down numbers. You were in bad position because that's all you had.
Yeah.
Not being able to position yourself to have to do going for it to win it is a thing.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Get faster players.
Would it be fair to say the same thing like if an L team missed a short pass to lose a game? Is it really any different? Right?
Yeah. Well, everybody complains about tripwire because that's where you don't want it to happen.
The 2+ with a reroll pass play, that's actually probably you would say, oh, my L failed it. It's not because of a tripwire, but you can't run that extra square. All of a sudden, it's Nuffle's fault.
Tripwire is a thing, though. So, yeah. All right, Zoom, you're new. Welcome to our party. Do you have anything? Are you on yet? Are you looking at this team or?
I am looking at the Thunden team. Yes.
What do you have to say about this?
I didn't catch a lot of them last year in the CL. I heard of them because of their winningness.
I heard of them because they're a loud, obnoxious coach. But anyways, continue.
It's a solid Wood Elf team. Like, it's got tools. Like, the whole team's got people who can do everything, right? So. What's he coming in at? He's coming in at
2K.
The cap. What's the I guess it's pros, so I guess he's not giving up much inducements. Everyone's floating around there, right?
Well, we've got a couple that are sitting quite a bit below. He has actually got the biggest TV. Period.
He's top. He'll be giving up inducements to everybody. So.
I feel that pain.
Not everybody. There's 2 teams that are pretty close that won't get much from him, but everybody else seems to be getting a wizard or so from him. So
I think
that's a lot of sub-18s for pros.
Yeah, the thing is with Wood Elves is you give them inducements and they become lethal, and if they're giving away inducements, they can pretty much handle it.
Yeah.
If it's a team like this,
those inducements actually work,
Yeah.
Like if they live up to their reputation, then those inducements can kill a Wood Elf team pretty simply.
This team's a beautiful looking team. Unless something goes wrong, this team's going places.
It's Wood Elves though, so they can go wrong at the
in an
the
instant.
coin.
Yes. Yes, but the thing is, they can also replace one of those players in an instant as well, providing they've got the cash.
Thundin's a great coach too, so like, which I hate. I mean, that made my mouth like nasty just saying out loud.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's a good coach, and that team has got the tools, so it's going to be a scary team to play. I'm not sure I'd want to play them.
Stolzy's come out with a statement that Wood Elves are a point-and-click adventure. So my challenge to you, Stolzy, is roll out Wood Elves and let's see how you get on.
Hey, if I could do it, I could do it.
I don't, dude. People talk about it all the time about Wood Elves easy mode. I don't.
It's not easy.
I must suck because I cannot play Wood Elves.
Well, the thing
I
is,
must be really bad.
You look at. They are great. Don't get me wrong. They are probably my favourite team, and they can do magic, as you know. But you look at the challenge leagues. You look at things like that. The teams that tend to be picked by others are your ones that can hide behind high armour, take your mutations, and just destroy what's in front of them.
Ouch! That hurts me.
Ow, that kind of hurt me. I'm in here. Whoa!
As you got to pay off the Nerdle coach in the.
Preacher's gone, right?
Things are so beautiful.
Yeah. So what I do want to point out is, we talked about this yesterday. We had a CL team that's got Wood Elves. Was a Cavalier Archer, yeah.
Yeah.
The CL was not those. The rest of the teams in that pool, minus like Tripp's team, are not where they need to be able to stop Wood Elves. So at lower TVs, Wood Elves are super unstoppable. This play pool probably has a lot. I haven't seen the rest of the teams yet. We'll get to them. I feel like this play pool is going to have a lot more ways in stopping his Wood Elves than like the other, you know. So this might be a little bit tougher. I mean, these teams are more developed, and you know, he's got some dwarves. He's got the human team that's super developed. He's got the Bretonians that have tackle and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is a little bit rough. Like this type of pool is going to be a little bit harder than say like a CL pool that doesn't have the tools.
Definitely, and I think going back to what Stoles was saying, he's absolutely right. This team in a one-off game, you'd put your money on them, but we're talking about 7 games across a season, plus playoffs, plus any other games that they might pick up on the way. Attrition, when it hits these guys, it hits them hard. They could lose players.
But that's the thing with coaches. This is a star-studded pool for coaching too. Like there's two former champs, pro champs in this play pool.
Yes.
Just good coaches all around. So this could be rough. It's going to be a little. I think it'll be a little bit harder for him this season than it was last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only one team in this pool that's going to have a hard time stopping them. The rest all have the tools to stop them. So
yeah. So let's look at our Bretonians, the Order of the Holy Squirrel.
Andy. Holy. It's the first time I've actually looked at this team in oh my lord. Oh my Lanta.
He is bragging. He's bringing to the plate 37 wins, 21 draws, 20 losses.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And I've got a synopsis on him. Andy has told me himself they're the Season 8 Challenge League semi-finalists, Season 10 Bloodwiser champions, Season 11 Happy Serenity champions, Season 13 and 14 Pro playoffs. And the order was founded by Sir Andy von Cook, a man who has had and found his fortunes in the city of the damned of Mordheim. Returning to Bretonia, he has dreamed of coaching his own team and to build one in a city of Paravon. But once the money had run out, decided to acquire building materials from the Forest of Lauren, home of the Wood Elves. That should be Loch Lauren, but I'm not going to criticise, being a Wood Elf coach, of course. That sat at Paravos' doorstep. After the ramshackle stable was complete, Sir Andy had named it after himself because he's got a huge ego. No, it doesn't say that. Come spring, the squirrels of the trees that they had chopped down and claimed the stadium as their own. A hibernating tree man by the name of Entwistle woke to find himself propping up the southeast stands. Well, that's interesting to know. They joined the MML Season 7 in hopes to emulate the great Mussolinian Morning Stars, who we spoke about earlier, interestingly enough, and to strive to become greater. Their playstyle is unlike any other Bretonian team. The Blitzers have been trained by war dancers from Lauren and unhuman-like agility and are able to leap into the flying squirrel like a flying squirrel. So yeah,
they are wannabe elves. If you look at them, they look like they want to be elves for sure. It's disgusting. I don't like seeing it. He's got a vampire on the team. I just don't like this. I don't like this team.
The vampire's not
full
the scary
of monsters.
guy. Morty's a scary guy.
Morty's scary, yeah. The lead, he jumps around. He's a circus freak, trying to emulate those Kislev players. Ugh. But like I said, this is the team right here. What I was saying, this team has tools to stop the Wood Elves. This team has the tools, you know. Everything. I mean, they'll match up really well, I think, against teams like the Wood Elves. They can bash pretty well too. They've got guard. I mean, I like this team. They lost to the champs. They lost to the champs in the playoffs. Okay, this last season, the eventual champs, anyways. They're a good team, good coach. They've been around as long as I have, actually. We started
Season 7.
Yep.
We started Season 6.
I did have the pleasure of calling one of their games, one of their grudge matches, to do with something to do with sponsorships changing, and I don't know, I wasn't really listening too much. And they played some dwarves. Yeah, and they lost. They got smashed. But this Morty, he was particularly good. And Longstrider, he was another great player on that team. So these blitzers, like you say, something to definitely watch out for. Definitely to watch out for.
Four of them.
Yeah.
Not just one or two. You got 4 amazing blitzers.
Yes. And this is the thing. We've just looked at Thunden's Wood Owls, and we've just talked about how great they look on paper, and where they've done and what they've achieved, and then we've come straight to the very next team, and I've forgotten about the Wood Owls already.
Yep.
And I could go back to the Wood Elves and forget about this team. So, yeah, these two teams are looking very
sweet. And the humans
sweet.
were super good, too. All 3 teams we've looked at so far are stacked.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So, let's go on to number 3. One I'm interested to look at, V-Power and his Vampire.
Hey, I forgot Doom was here. He's so quiet. Doom, we need to talk more.
Yeah, I know, right?
You just butt in when you want to.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Wow. V-Power's in trouble.
Where's the players?
He's eating them all.
They've eaten them all. They got hungry.
Well, they're bragging 19 wins, 7 draws, 12 losses, which is quite respectable for any coach, let alone a vampire coach.
Well, they are the first vampire team to make it to the pros.
Yes,
so
they are.
Say that.
So does that mean I get to be number 2 if I get promoted?
You would be number 2 if you got promoted.
Wow. No pressure. I fear for this team. They got that great Thrall, Timothy Keslav. He looks like a great ball carrier to me, taking the pressure off the vampires. But the trouble is you've got 9 players, couple of loners to join them. But how are they going to last? How are they going to survive game to game?
Well,
they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
Okay.
This play pool is pretty rough, so I don't know if they will survive. But if anybody would survive with a team like this, it will be V-Power because he's a great coach.
Yeah, and I think you look at this, the vampires he's got, they're all quick. He's got nature. Yeah, he's got 2 fantastic gazers. He's got his killer, so he's got the tools to deal with the player pool, but he doesn't have the depth of bench to deal with it yet, in my opinion.
He does have 80k in the bank, and if he gets good rolls, he can get his bench back in 2 games as long as he tries to keep him alive. So.
Well, he plays the first game, takes in some cash. He just splurges all that cash out. The trouble is, the first Thrall he buys and the second Thrall that he buys makes no difference to his team because he's already running on 9 players.
So if he wins 40K in the first game and doesn't lose anybody, he can buy 3 and he'll be at 12. So on the bench.
Yeah, which isn't enough.
3.
I think 14's the key. Plus, he's running 5 vamps, which is my aim of the game. The ones he's got look after themselves. You can't fault those first 4. And obviously, he's got Lord Samurai Frost to the rookie. He's got to bring him in at some point. He must have had a rough ending to last season, is all. What is his...
Let's have a look. 2-1 to the Skinks the last game of the season. Season 14.
No.
Playoffs then?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that? No.
No, he lost to High Winds of Hope.
High Winds of Hope, yeah.
Whoever they are.
Oh, I didn't make playoffs? I missed something. Whoa. You got beat up pretty
Whoever
good
they
by
are,
them.
you don't know who the High Wings of Hope are?
No.
No. I wasn't looking at that. Let's look at something else.
So, yeah.
High Wings of Hope.
That'll be interesting. Let's have a look at our dwarfs.
Let's.
Our first dwarves.
Where are they all?
Oh, he had a bowl game, right? That's why. Oh, it's not registered.
Oh yeah. His first season of the pros, he made a bowl game.
Did he really?
Yeah. The Vampires made a bowl game.
That was his second.
Cool.
Season 14 was his second season in the pros. He did 1 season in the CL in 12. Season 13, first season in pro. Yeah, it's not registering on site. That's why I didn't. Lord of the Skinks was his last regular season game.
Okay.
But
he did play Stu in the bowl.
He did make a bowl game with Vampires, which is something to say.
Impressive.
So, yes.
And then Stu went and beat him. Like, how is that? Jeez.
Okay, here's a. What is up with these freaks? I want to get the drug committee to come check out this play pool. I want to know about what kind of drugs this play pool. Yeah, we have the cripple pool, now we have the stat freaks, the drug pool. We'll call this the druggie pool. A bunch of druggies. Like, geez, look at all this.
We're taking a Giacomo Hornets team now. Yeah, here we go. Jeez, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strength ups. That's crazy. Just crazy. Good for him making a team. Jeez.
I don't really have anything to say about this, but except for like this is an abomination and should be deleted. So you guys can go on.
Well, I'm looking at the BlackRock Belchers with their 18 wins, 5 draws, 9 losses.
Yep.
And where are they all?
They had a rough season. They got a couple deaths last season. They did.
They are horrendous.
They talked a lot of smack, and they got a couple deaths, and yeah.
But look at them. They're all freaks.
Oh.
Yes. They're gross streaks. Is there any of them that aren't on roids? I guess 2 of them?
Pyro, that's Troll Slayer. A Troll Slayer, not on roids. What's that about?
And then Arid.
Erlid.
Yeah. The long beard. Ugh.
Yeah, they...
I like this team. I don't care what you guys say. I love this team. This is awesome.
Of course we like
It's a great team. Is it too much roids?
Yes. I think
it
so.
Probably
is there such thing as too much roids? Come on.
I mean, how much?
We all want to be big and strong.
So
as someone whose team is very roided, I can say that I don't think I would want more roids on my team.
That's 400 induced. That's 400,000 or 400 TV right there on just strength up. 400 TV.
Yeah.
The thing with that,
1200. This is a 1200 TV team, guys. This is a 1200 TV team.
this is it. There's not enough background to help him.
There's not.
It's great on face value, but when it comes to it, when he's playing Thunder and he's got his ball carrier in the middle or whatever it is, and Thunder leaps in one and there's no guard about, and he leaps in the other, and then that's it all over, the ball's pop loose because he's leaped in a guard or something. He's got 4 guard pieces. He's going to be packing a couple of loners. It's
great out of the box.
It's great on face value, you know, having that strength 4 Longbeard to just blitz something, or you know, the freak of nature that is his runner, but he can't do it all. They can't do it all themselves, and I think there needs more depth to this team. He's also only packing one reroll. That's interesting.
But he's got room to grow. He's still got like 400 TV he could grow on. Yeah.
Of course exactly. He's got room to grow. He's a dwarf.
They got tons of room to grow.
What I mean is this team is sitting at 16 or 1700 TV if you count the 2 loners, right?
Yeah.
17 change.
17 change. So there's still 300 TV in skills that it can get before it's at like league cap. So I mean, it has. If it has a healthy season, you will see this team probably develop into a pretty scary dwarf team. Right now, I think it's hampered. I think the strength is almost a handicap on it right now.
Nah.
But if it
disagree. Totally disagree.
Of course you do.
I know.
It's beers, you know.
Ooh, I need a beer. Speaking of beer.
Well, see, I'm looking at this team, all the extra strength, and they'll do well, but they're going to come across somebody like their Squirrels with their Dauntless who are going to say, is that the best you've got, and punch them back. But they've got the additional backing skills. Yeah.
Well, they've already played the Pumas, and they tied the Pumas last season in the CL. So they're already played them once. Who else have they played? They tied. They've already tied Thundon as well. Tied him last season. Mm-hmm.
They've also played. They've also played the Dark Elves that are in this pool, the spawn of Ungoliant.
Yep.
They beat the Dark Elves. Yep. They drew with Thundon. They've played a lot. They've played a lot of teams in this pool.
Yeah.
So
they lost to Test Your Might, so that only 1-0. So that shows they can compete with a solid. You know, that Orc team is solid. So.
Well, I've got some information in about this team from Hornet himself. He's telling me they were formed on a rowdy night in Blackrock Inn, where the innkeeper and the Belcher's owner challenged her regulars to put up their gold where their mouth was, as they shouted at the cable vision that was being shown in the bar. The Belchers captured, aided by Belhuck and a fan favourite Boomer Redmayne, earned the accolade of top-ranking dwarf team in the farm. A registration issue, apparently the registration fee was actually spent on ale, meant that the Belchers were to tour, earning fame amongst the leagues of the old and new worlds. Coach Gorham Ironhand, notoriously rigorously training regime, has meant that the Belchers are possibly the strongest dwarf team in Blood Bowl history, which we've spoken about. Additions of Goring Goldbeard from the Thornheim Thunderbolts and McLean Fine gave the Belchers a good, if not spectacular, first MML season, and the hope is the addition of Flamelocks will add to much needed strength. So it's interesting that he's gone and purchased himself more strength in what, like you say, is a roided up team. The Belchers' main rivals are the Red Eye Mountain lads, sadly on a sabbatical and unable to get pummeled by the Belchers. Turn their attention to Coach Alma's spawn of, I can't say that word.
We'll just call them the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
Which is in this pool. So.
And Red Eye Mountain. Why does that sound familiar?
They're looking to teach them some lessons after some smack talk going down. So, that's our dwarfs.
Red Eye Mountain, wasn't that, what the heck was his name? It was an Orc team, wasn't it? They came from Red Eye Mountain?
Red Eye Mountain lads.
Who was that?
That was, what was his name again? Oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Yeah, he was an Orc coach.
Yep. So I want to point out this team and another team made our pro teams, right?
Stomper.
But Stompa.
Yeah, Stompa. That's it.
Anyways, this team and another team that we have yet to review are both in the pros. This is a pro pool, but I just want to. They didn't make the playoffs last season. They got promoted via drop. But so I'm just bringing that up. No hard
I
feelings.
can't bash that. There's no way I can bash that. That's how I got to pros.
I'm
never
only
made
bashing that
playoffs unless
because
you made pros.
I'm only bashing that because I think this last season and the season before that, if I had not switched teams like I did, both of my teams would have been promoted that way. But I'm
so what we're saying.
I want to earn it. I want to earn my pro.
They've got to earn the right to be here this season, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, let's see who we got next.
They got to prove that they're able to. Oh gosh.
We got another dwarf team.
This is the other team he's talking about.
Just Stevie. At least there's more of them.
They did go to the playoffs last season.
Well, let's have a look at their win record. We've got 12 wins, 3 draws, 7 losses.
This is not the other team I'm talking about. This team made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
Needham Hill Not Highs. Well, this team looks very different. When you think of the TV difference, and we've got, 13 players on the roster, it looks developed, it looks ready to go. I'd be backing this team before the other, I'm afraid.
This team looks like it's a much more complete team.
Yeah, it looks more ready. Looks more ready for the pros.
Yep.
And it's led by a guy that's all he plays is dwarfs. And
Stevie's a great coach. Well, I mean, God, that was my mouth again is just gross saying it out loud. And he did make the playoffs, and he did play Denial twice last season, which is in his play pool as well. He lost to him in the playoffs, so this should be a fun season for this play pool. It looks like a lot of these teams played each other last season.
Yeah.
And that team.
Who did he lose to last season? Oh, he lost to
Denial.
Legends of Spawn.
He beat Denial in the regular season, and then lost to Denial in the playoffs.
I was gonna say that's a better dwarf team.
Yeah.
This is more conventional dwarf. Yeah.
So while we're talking about Denial, let's move on to Denial.
Denial.
Oh, Camry, I love seeing Camry. I love seeing Camry.
So, Blue Max is in and about. So let's start with the statistics and see what his records are. He's packing 10 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses, which is respectable. Very respectable.
For Camry, it's awesome.
Yes.
He's got the Weather Dome, which is cool.
Yeah,
they made the playoffs. Yeah, they won a playoff game. Season. They won a playoff game last season.
Yep.
They lost to the eventual runner-ups in the CL, so test your might.
Well, we're missing one of his Tomb Guardians for the first game. Otherwise, it takes his TV over 1600, which is okay. But I'd like to see a little bit more robustness about the team.
Yeah, his Tomb Guardians are pretty underdeveloped. That could probably be because of attrition. Lost
Possibly.
a couple. If you notice that Tomb Guardian that's missing is not just, it's permanently injured. If you look at it, it's going to be a little bit weaker than other Tomb Guardians. So that's kind of
strength 4.
That's kind of a bummer.
We've got a question in the chat about what player pool we've done. We've done the Challenge League East with the boss man himself, Preach, and we're just finished. Well, we're nearly finished, I suppose.
We did Challenge League West with the DLC.
Oh, was it
DLC
West?
fun.
Yeah, we did Preach.
West.
Yeah.
Sorry, West. Challenge League West. We're in the Pros East at the moment.
We haven't done yours yet. We'll probably do yours tomorrow.
And yep, we're looking at doing the other Challenge East to finish up this evening after this one.
So, I mean, what do you guys think? This team, a little bit underdeveloped, probably.
Well, for me,
maybe a bit, but
for me, if he plays his pitch control right, and that's what they're all about, pitch control. They're not the bash team people think. Gets those Tomb Guardians controlling the field correctly. It allows the guys behind them to do whatever they got to do. his Blitzras are starting to come along nicely. The throw-ras are coming along nicely. So there's scope. Skeletons are meh. You know, they kick things that are on the floor and they generally get in the way. You got an agility 3 one there, which is a bit filthy.
Agility 3 with dodge too.
Yeah.
That's their ball carrier now.
Extra filthy.
I think this team will do well against our dwarf coach on roids because they got the tools to deal with it. But I think they're going to severely struggle when the likes of Thunden's Wood Elves or the Squirrels get hold of them.
Yeah, they can handle the strength, but not the agility.
Yeah, they're just...
Well, you say that, but their history shows they played the Wood Chippers, which is another team
Yes.
that we reviewed yesterday, and they drew with the Wood Chippers.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, a draw against an Agi team is a win for Camry.
Yes.
But, you know, so, I mean, Blue Max is a good coach. I think the team has a long ways to go, but that's Camry. They always seem to have a long ways to go, right?
And another team that's only played one season, though, so, you know, being a little underdeveloped maybe, but he's only had one season with the team, right?
A good season, too. I mean, that was a great season last
Really
season.
good season. Really good season. Can't complain about 4-2-1 with your first season, especially with Kemmer.
I don't think he'll have too much trouble with the Bash in this pool. I think he'll
No.
struggle against, like you said, the Wood Elves and the Bretonians. I think will probably give him the most fits.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Bretonians are going to give him a
Dauntless,
really
Bretonians with Dauntless is annoying. The Vamps might even have issues. Like the Vamps might even be able, because the Vamps are going to be hypno gazing like crazy. The Vamps will be able to just there'll be no
Well,
issues to get these guys their tackle zones away. You know.
Vampires, in my experience, which is very limited, struggle against your agility teams, whereas your Bashir teams, it's easier to control what's going on and deal with what they're strong with.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
So,
Well, to keep an eye for him, it'd be No Throw Joe. That's who his scorer is. That's his his best throw, Ross. So he's gonna have to carry a lot for this team to, compete.
Well, it looks like I don't know if he's had the throw raw and the blitz raw that just haven't leveled at all, or he had injuries and he's had to replace them. But they're both at 0. They're both rookies coming in. So well, maybe not rookies, but
he's lost
one
the throw
of them
raw,
played 2 matches. Yeah, his throw raw
and he's
played
also
2
lost the
matches.
blitz.
Nope.
Rob must have died.
His blitz raw is a straight rookie. Has not played a single game,
no.
and his throw raw has only played 2.
Yeah, he had
so
he had
that'll
his other blitz raw die on him. It looks like so. And same with his other his other throw raw also died. Horse.
Lots of death.
Lots of deaths.
Lots of re-deaths. Lots of re-deaths.
The animation is knocked out of them.
Yeah.
They're just staying dead.
Probably used to that too.
Well, which brings us
I
on to
love
our...
Camry. They're one of my favorite teams, so I'm a little bit biased towards this team. I like it.
Well, let's bring us on to our last team of the player pool, and I believe our first Dark Elf team that's to be reviewed.
I think there's only 2 in the whole league, anyways. So
Really?
So,
Dark
there's one
Elves
in the next pool. The next pool will have Dark Elves too. So.
are a very sexy team. I do enjoy them. 9 wins, 8 draws, 14 losses. Yeah, these Dark Elves were my first love. I love them. They're a great team. They got it all, in my opinion. And this team is looking a little bit beaten up, but it's also looking a little bit tasty. The one thing I struggled with is the blitzers are the workhorse behind it, and your witch elves are your flair, which always means your line elves get left behind, and they are so hard to level up and to progress with, and this team highlights it, I think.
only 2
It's
rerolls.
funny because they're not even as rookies. They're not bad though. Like the
No.
Dark Elf, they're not as good as other elf linemen, but they're not bad.
Well, see, that's subjective. What's the job of a lineman? To stand on the line, in which case armor rate's beautiful for it. So arguably, they're better for that purpose alone. They don't have the movement 7, but when the top speed in your team is 7 anyway, they're never going to be far away.
Well, 7 for normal people, not for this team.
No, no. I mean, movement 8 on the Witch Elf.
More freaking stat freaks.
Yeah, the Witch Elf, strength 4 Witch Elf's beautiful. She's going to go places. The movement 8 is beautiful again. Same with the Blitzer. Those sorts of that Blitzer with sidestep. You hit him, if he doesn't go down, he's getting nearer the ball. He's going to cause problems.
He beat Thunder last season.
He's got 2 blonde sidestep blitzers with guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
No, Max, this is the last team. This is team number 8.
It's number 8. So yeah, I mean, Dark Elves do excel or do pretty well against Wood Elves, largely because they can do everything the Wood Elf can do, largely speaking, but they can also hit harder, or they're unrate.
Well, Doom likes Dark Elves, so he should have something to say about this.
I like Dark Elves. I can't figure them out.
They're a weird team to play. Like they want to be bashed, but they're elves. They want to
me
be bashed,
and you
elves.
should book some time on a training field, and I'll help you with that. But yeah, they're beautiful.
DMD plays Dark Elf, and he bashes like crazy with his Dark Elves.
Yeah, you got to be careful doing that because you're going to lose. That's like trying to bash with humans. You're going to lose.
I think humans can be very bashy.
Yeah, later on when they pick up their guard and their mighty blow, but the Dark Elves don't have that option. They've got the agility, the dodge sidestep issues. They can hit and they can pick their targets, and that's the key thing. Picking targets.
There's been no one to be the bashiest of all the elves.
Yeah.
Dark Elves.
Wait, is that a leap blitzer? Does that blitzer have leap on it, the injured one?
Mm-hmm. Let's have a look. Yes, he does.
Whoa.
So he is going to upset people.
Yeah, when he comes back after game 1. Whoever's got him game 1 will be happy he's not out.
Yeah.
Or he's not there.
The issue with him, well, he's injured. He's lost some movement on that guy, so that's going to impact on him in a way.
It will, because I mean they're already pretty low movement at 7, and then jumping in and blitzing and jumping in could. I mean, it's going to be GFIs a lot of the time probably.
But he's got an element of strength about him. He's blodging. He's in a nice position. I do find as with any elf, if you give them too many stat upgrades, and he's had 2, they lack the basic skills that they need. Sometimes an elf with no doubles is one of the best you're going to have on the team. You know, a double, Witch Elves, Mighty Blow, Guard, Blitzers, or whatever, is nice, but 2 stat upgrades is quite a lot when you've only got 3 other skills or 4 other skills if you get that far. You know. So it'd be interesting to see where he goes, but he's only the one player. It's not like the Dwarves where there's tons of it.
Yeah. I think this team has to prove that they belong here. They didn't have. I mean, as far as this team goes, I don't think they had the season they wanted last season. They didn't make the playoffs. They lost to some teams they said they thought they should have beat. They beat the champion of the CL and then lost to a couple other teams that they probably thought. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see this team prove that they're ready to be in the pros. So.
And I think they can do.
Win is their smack talk game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a very big. Well, so does the other dwarf team.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of smack talk in this pool. London likes to do
there's
it
tons
a
of
bit.
smack talking in this pool.
No.
But it's about which ones are going to back it up.
Hey, there's only 2 teams in this pool that were pro last season.
So
there's 6 brand new pros. Pumas have been pro before, but they weren't pro last season. Yeah.
So looking at the pool, there's now 4 of us. Who's going to finish top?
I'm going with the Squirrels.
All
Absolutely.
right.
That team is just gorgeous for this play pool.
London,
I
the Elves, but the Squirrels are very good are very close second in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm trying to choose between those two, and I'm going to go with the Squirrels. I think attrition will hit, and it's going to hit all these teams, but I think it's going to hit the Wood Elves more than it hits the Squirrels, and so I'm going to go with the Squirrels.
You say attrition, but then you have no Claw in this whole pool, and we have a Dwarf team that I really like the look of. I think Stevie's Dwarves are, I mean, I don't like to say this, and I really shouldn't say this on the air because I'll never hear the end of it, but I think they're a team that will surprise people. I think that's my pick. I'm going to pick his Dwarves.
Well, see, you say
nothing.
There's no claw, and that's the key. There's no claw, and so the Wood Elves are armor 7, where everything else is more, and they get the benefit of the more. The Wood Elves are going to come across the way it comes out is big. We already said that the Squirrels are going to cause each other problems. The Dwarves, the Khemri, they're all going to hit hard, and we know the Dark Elves did beat Thunder last season. Dark Elves can do that. Plus, the Dark Elves have got the inducements in the bag at this stage, and normally Wood Elves can ignore things like that, but the Dark Elves can exploit that. So, I think it's going to be a tough season for them, where the Holy Squirrel, they've got a lot of experience. They're well played in the pros. They know what they're doing. They know about the player pools. They know about how the team works inside out. There's more depth to it, and I'm going to go with that. That's my thought.
I'm going with the Dwarves, and I'm going with the Squirrels in second. I think those will be the 2 playoff teams from this pool.
Yeah.
Just Stevie's Dwarves, and then the Squirrels.
So who's our wild shot? Who can come from nowhere to do something magic that maybe not expected? I'm going with the Dark Elves. Alma's Dark Elves.
Yeah, I'm with. I was going to put Thunderdon as my wild card. If he can stay healthy, do healthy things, maybe as long as he doesn't have the Dwarfs back to back, I could really help his chances. I'll put him in as possibly sneaking into that second spot or the top spot. If you can get as long as he doesn't get those Dwarves back to back, and maybe they even throw the Squirrels in, so you have all 3 of them in a row, that would really hurt him. But if he can get a good spread throughout the pool, yeah, I'd put him in as my wild card for sure.
Which leaves
Pumas count as a wild card?
Well, this is it. To discount, well, we've not discounted them, but they've not been mentioned yet. That's just bonkers.
Goes to say how strong this pool is, really.
Yeah.
This pool's incredibly strong.
Well, that's 2 pro pools, or 2 pools we've did back to back today that have been so tight.
I'm even having trouble figuring out my wild card. I'm like, the Vampires, if they can stay healthy, they could do some damage. But I think I'm gonna say keep an eye on Denial and Khemri. If they can, they have a bench. They have some skills. If they can keep their positioning on point, I think their biggest struggle will be against the Wood Elves, and I think that'll be like the only time they really struggle. But if they can get a draw, they'll have inducements. They'll have a lot of inducements, which I don't know so much if inducements will help against the Wood Elves as much as other teams. But they'll have inducements, so they'll probably get some. If they can get past the Wood Elves, I think keep an eye on them. I think they could be a good team. So.
Okay, who's finishing bottom?
Power.
Oh.
One
power? Ouch. The Vamps?
Those would be the Vamps, right? The ones with the no thralls, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think he's a coach, but I think his team is looking rough. And...
Yeah,
he gets through the first game. I think he'll be.
Yeah, he'll have a bench after the first game, and then it won't take much to get more bench after that.
Just depends if he starts rolling ones.
Yep.
That's what hurts the Vamps the most, are the ones.
Well, Stolzy's shouting the Pumas to finish last. That's brave.
Who?
I don't see that.
Stolzy.
The Pumas.
Oh, the Pumas to finish last.
See,
wouldn't be the first time.
I'm saying it's got to be somewhere between V-Power, and the BlackRock Belchers. They're your bottom two. The Dwarves are just not ready for this, and V-Power's team's beat up.
No,
It's nothing against the coaches.
I think the Dark Elves are going to struggle in this team, in this pool. I think the Dark Elves are in big trouble.
I kind of agree with Beers. I think there's matchups in this pool that are not good for the Dark Elves, which is pretty much every team they play. They're not fast enough to run around the Khemri, and they're going to get outbashed like crazy. They're slower than both the Wood Elves and the Bretonians, and the humans even. They're even slower than the humans. They're going to get... it's either going to be them. I'm calling them or the BlackRock Belchers. The Belchers have a team that could be on paper good, but
yes, one day they will be great.
Yep, I just don't think they're there yet. I think they need a couple more seasons, and then they'll be a scary team that no one's going to want to play.
Yeah, that's it. If they stay up in the pros and get to develop, look out.
But it's nice to see a division without Claw, and that's been in their both those dwarf teams. It's been in their favour for this season because it allows them to, irrespective of the results and where they finish, it allows them to develop the team they've got without massive risk.
That's why I think Stevie's going to be... I mean, they're more developed and ready to go, and I think he's going to take not a lot of injuries, and I think he'll be raring to go to win this play pool, so it'll be good to see.
He's back in the pros, too. He's going to be ready to go.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
But yeah.
Well, so,
that was fun.
That was fun.
Where are we heading next?
This is going to be the pool I'm most interested in watching.
Okay.
That right now.
Yeah, this will be a long one. We're going to our D&D TNA pools, last CL pool.
TNA and D&D, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are looking at...
Oh, we got a chaos team. About time we get some mutations up in here.
Yeah.
Sorry. My apologies.
Multiple mutations.
Sorry,
multiple mutations. Okay.
Yeah, I see the Nurgle now. Oh, Stolzy. Oh, poor bastard. We're gonna play them rotting, disgusting things. But hey, they're mutated. Hey, yay.
Oh, it's the ECL team?
Who put this pool together? You've got vast ends of the spectrum. 2K Nurgle team, Rand, you're a bad man. And then you've got
20, wow.
You've got halflings and goblins as well.
Yeah.
It's like
I had nothing to do with this, but I feel like my team might die in this pool.
Either goblins are going to bring secret weapon to the
goblins are going to bring 4 bribes and 2 chainsaws, and it's going to be
stuff. Oh, 2 chainsaws? Can you do that? I've never tried.
Yeah.
And you got one on your team, and then you can bring the star player chainsaw. So.
He's going to have 2 ball and chains. He's going to have more strength than you ever know. 2 trolls, 2 ball and chains, 2 chainsaws, and no second half. But your team will be dead.
I'm gonna play against 3 freaking trees and no rerolls against the halflings. So, looking at this play pool, I was like, I don't want to play in this pool. I don't want to.
Well, this is it. You know, when you draw halflings or goblins, it's probably your best chance of getting a win. But you don't want to play them because if you don't. Right, let's start.
I drew against halflings last season, so my humans did. So I don't have a good track record against dungeon teams.
No.
Mercy's a good halfling coach. So.
Mercy is, he's old OCC coach. I remember crossing paths with him back on the PC.
Oh, so, I imagine he played PC too.
Let's start at the beginning. Plague Inc.
Oh gosh.
Rand.
This pretty team.
Tell us all about it.
Well, Plague Inc. The worst of the 4 horsemen is me. We started in season 7. Nurgle had just got released in season 7, so 4 of us, which was Thundin, V-Power, Bernie, who's no longer in MML, and me, all started Nurgle teams, and we were the 4 horsemen. And I was the only one that never makes pros. Actually, one of them even went on to win the championship, the MML Pro Championship. But I didn't do it. I actually went on leave of absence for a couple seasons. I think 3 seasons or 3 or 4 seasons. So I never gave them a full run. They came back and for 2 seasons. They played 2 seasons, season 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Probably should have made playoffs. Probably should have went pro. Had a couple really bad plays, and I just suck at this game. Really, is what the story is. I had both seasons. I just needed a draw or a win on week 7, and I'm in the playoffs, and I lose both games. So yeah, that's the story. They are now just looking for free hugs. We're just looking to give hugs for everybody. So
well, you're packing in with 18 wins, 13 draws, 20 losses. You're not afraid to kill people with 11 kills and 116 casualties inflicted.
Yeah, they're deadly, but there's only one person on the team that really is deadly. Well, now there's 2. I just got another claw.
Definitely not Coffee.
Yeah. Actually, Coffee is a record holder. He holds the record for most KOs in a single season at 16. And the last 2 seasons he played, he was the leader in KOs in a single season.
Can I just say I wish this team was in my play pool?
Why?
Doom and I have played together for the last 3 seasons. He's played against this team twice.
No, I've only played against Plague once.
Okay, yeah, maybe you're right.
Because when you second team with Plague, because we're in the other CL division. It swapped.
Yeah.
And I've never got my chance at my revenge on the Plague.
I killed. One of my I think 2 of my 11 kills were against Doom's CL team, so that's why he wants them.
But also a lot of the Nurgle tricks don't, I think, hurt me as much as they do some other teams. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, this team isn't trying to be your typical Nurgle where it's just bash, kill, kill. I'm trying to play. If you can tell, I'm trying to make them into a Khemri team by just giving everybody strength 5.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work on my positioning, which is, I think, my biggest weakness. Having only 3 Pestigors doesn't help either. I had to fire Ricketts before the beginning of the season to get under cap, so that was a bummer.
Yeah.
My first player on the team was Chickenpox. His whole shtick was supposed to be just mutations, but then I couldn't keep it going because it's kind of garbage if you're only doing mutations.
Evening, Lyra. Evening. Chickenpox. 44 games.
No. He doesn't do much. He doesn't. I mean, if you want to check out the CL leader in rushing yards for season 13 or 12 is Ultimate Pestigor. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Is that because he's the Ultimate Pestigor?
Yes, he's the ultimate.
And he's the only one strip ball doesn't work against.
Yeah, he's looking good.
He's got
30 touchdowns, 1,804 rushing yards.
Yep. 30 touchdowns. That's almost a touchdown a game for him. Just so you guys, if you guys aren't doing math there.
I don't do math.
He doesn't block much. I mean, 49 blocks is.
Does he need to?
Though, Copy's the star. Copy's the star of the team. If Copy dies, the team probably dies.
It's all about him.
My favorite. He's been my favorite player since I started this team. He's been on the team since day 1. He's played all matches minus the ones that he's missed for MMGs.
It's odd that he's played every game bar the ones he's missed.
I mean, like, he's been on the team. He's been on the team since day 1. Is what I meant. Like, is what I tried to say. He's literally, if you do the math, he's only missed 1 game. He's played 51 games, and he's played 50. So he's only missed 1 game in their 51 game career. So
44 casualties. That's impressive too.
Well,
very impressive.
3 kills. He's got the kills.
Yeah.
My second favorite player is Lord Plague. He's just designed to be the stupid, annoying guy who doesn't move and just keeps all your players based for the rest of my team.
Who has played all 51 games?
Yep. He's also scored a touchdown.
Yes, he does.
Which doesn't happen for...
No. 329 blocks.
He's got 329 blocks, and that's because he's got these things, these huggers. He hugs his opponents and doesn't let them leave his side. And then he gets to punch them again after hugging them, because that's what he does.
It's like an elastic band around his opponent.
And Lord Decay is my most annoying player. That guy was strength 5 basically when I came into the league in season 7. And he did not level up until last season, or season 13. The last season with his team, he leveled up in like week 5 or something like that. And then he got another MVP. And we went from having no SPP basically to getting like double MVP. But yeah, that guy, he's trying to be like Lord Plague, but he's just not quite there yet. He's slowly developing.
That's Nergal Warriors for it. They take forever to level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the rest of my guys are leveling up just fine. I have.
Yeah.
Well,
I have 2 players. I think Ultimate and Coffee. I'm probably gonna play this team until they get legendary.
And then we'll see.
Ultimate's a transfer. Ultimate came in from London. He's my only transfer on the team. So.
Nice.
It's all homegrown.
Nice. So, next team then.
Yep.
We are shouting out to a fellow Welshman in Laser Trip. Unfortunately for him, he took a crushing defeat in the final of the Pros and had to retire his Lord of the Skinks. And these Bretts are coming in with 3 wins, 9 draws, 6 losses. So
they're fairly underdeveloped too. They have a bench though, which is nice.
1500 TV. They're quick blitzer and an agile blitzer. That's always nice for the foundation of a team.
Yep. A killer. They got a killer.
Yeah.
For 1500, that's with his 100 bonus TV. This is a good starting Brett team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a couple seasons of no serious deaths.
Well,
yeah, and I think you also got to look at the thing that strikes me is his 4 blitzers are tooled up and ready to go. But what about the rest of the team?
Well,
yeah.
They're not ready for it.
You're limited. Right? This is the thing about bringing in a fresh team into the Challenge League. You're gonna have holes, and you gotta.
Yeah.
For him, he decided to put it all on the big guys. That's where all my TV's going. That's what I need. Everybody else can follow as we play.
Oh, he does have the sandwich kiosk, as Blue Max points out, which is kind of cool. No bribes or throw rocks for his team.
Throw rocks and get the riffs.
Yeah, you'd think the Bretonians would want bribes, but
possibly, unless they live by the way they should be, and nobility and stuff like that.
Honorable, yeah. But they have peasants for the non-honorable stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The holy ones. They gotta be holy.
Holier than thou. So next up, Greenskins, the Yate Yobs.
Sil's team.
Yeah, not only are they Greenskins, they are South's Greenskins, which he is been around for a long time playing Greenskins.
Well, these are 9-3-5 in the win ratio.
Yeah, he retired the old Yate Yobs and brought in this team.
So what we're seeing, what's interesting is he's got this team ready for the CL. But if you look, his blitzers, they're almost like he's not bothered with them to start with, and he's developed the spine of the backbone of the team, knowing that these guys will pick up the points, they will pick up the scores, they will be doing the majority of the direct blitzing and hitting, and they will naturally progress faster, I believe, than most of the other team, bar maybe the throwers. They That's interesting. It's an interesting approach.
No, he brought in 4 leveled up Black Orcs, which is
Yeah.
saying something for a new team and a new Orc team. So
Yeah. The fact that 2 of them. Yeah, he's got 2 with block, 2 with guard. It's interesting. It's already going down the guard because he's got to dominate that blocking game or he's in trouble. Because that's all they've got, really. Interesting. Very young team.
Nice.
Very young
only
team.
14-30.
Yeah.
Easily could have had this team up to 15. Easy.
It's one of those teams you look at and you think, well, there's not much there, but it's also got a good foundation.
So there's not much there, but also has a good coach. I mean,
yeah.
And the Orcs, they're all AV9. Like he has a good chance to develop them.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this team. I have a bad history against Orcs.
Interesting that their throwers taken accurate, which is, you know, great. But I've always thought as the Orc throwers more as a runner. Because somebody's got to catch it.
0 passes. He's got 0 passes in his 1-game career. You know.
Wow. So let's have a look at the next one. Stolzy's asking us to look at his record.
Oh my God! He's flexing his farm muscles over here.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Stolzy, I love you, man. You're great. Did I tell anybody?
He's not flexing his farm muscles.
6 wins, 7 losses. Yeah, Stolzy. I like Stolzy. I've got a lot of time for him. I don't know if you know this. I played him in my first ever game in the MML.
Oh yeah, did you? I didn't know that.
So Stolzy's chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Stolzy's chaos.
Talking it for seasons and seasons. He's been talking about finally bringing in the boys.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna let Doom and Beers talk about chaos a bit more. They're more on that type of thing than I am. So
says the
Nurgle coach.
Right?
I like Nurgle. I like Nurgle. I don't like chaos. Okay, there's a difference.
There is a difference.
I'm confused. Go ahead, Doom. You take us away on it.
Well, the first thing I'm noticing is he got a couple trolls that are disguising themselves in chaos armor.
I think he's trying to be like me. I think he's trying to be like me and my Nurgle warriors.
Yeah.
For a starting chaos team, it's good. It's got a lot of. It's not unskilled. I know that's one of the reasons I like early chaos. I get in my pools is there's usually more skill holes.
Well, this is it. He's not turning over with block dice as often as you'd hope. The 1 in 9's less likely to hit him.
3 players without block.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's it. That's on a new chaos team. That's pretty huge. That's
yeah.
And your ball carrier's a blodger to boot. That's a good start. Like
it's a good solid team again. I don't know. The trolley chaos warriors are nice, but I almost think for starting team, he's already got a ton of skills in there. He could have got more skills in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it doesn't hurt because a couple of them are never a bad thing.
I think it's like you say, later on that is going to be sweet. Early on, that's 100k, that could have been 5 skills in places. That could have been, you know, a little bit better. I don't want to say it's better spent, because you can't turn it down when it comes, because you don't know when you're going to get another opportunity. But it's that whole, at least it's not splattering across the whole team. We've got the Agility 4 Beastman, which is very nice. Like Stolzy says, they're great roadblocks. Put those a couple of squares apart. When they pick up guard, you're not getting past them in a hurry. We got 2 that are building up to be killers. It's got the foundation, good solid base.
And it's a great base for chaos. It really is.
And he's looking at a Minotaur transfer now.
Oh yeah, him and his domination.
I am not.
Apparently, it's like a 270k
Oh, it's me as hell. Block, tackled. What else has he got? Claw, guard, and something else, I think.
But see, I'm not a chaos coach by any means. But the best chaos teams I've seen, they don't bother with Minotaurs. Because
I rolled them with a Mino with a minnow, not a Mino. I rolled with a minnow for, until from season 6 to season, I want to say 11.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, you were. Then you had a niggle, didn't it? Or it was an 80 down.
It was 80 down.
Yeah.
And he finally
still did
it. Down. But eventually, your warriors get up there. Once your warriors are, level 4, level 5, that's where most of your TV's going, because you're gonna have your ball carrier, you're gonna have your killer, maybe 2, and then you're gonna have, just your fodder. But the minnow's got to go at that point, because where do you cut? He's already got 2 strength 5 chaos warriors if they survive the season. The minnow's just too big of a piece when everybody starts to develop. That's the only reason why I don't know.
He's good early on.
They're okay early.
They're great early because they just draw attention. Trust me, I've had this argument a million times. I like minnows with fresh chaos because they draw attention.
Yeah.
Everybody sees a minnow on the pitch, they're like, I got to get that thing off. It's a frenzy. It's a comes with mighty blow. That thing's got to go. So
and
that means everybody else gets to do kind of what they want.
And they see it as a weak target because it's armor 8. Despite the rest of the team being armor 8, and it is irrelevant. They see it as a weak target.
So Blue Max makes a good point. There's no tackling on this team. They're not going to be able to stop those fast.
No.
So and it's in a pool that has 3 teams that are full of stunties, aka lizards, goblins, and halflings. That
blocks
could
have to be big for them.
I mean, 3-die blocks are a thing, but they're going to need to roll POWs to, get this
both down.
Or kill them.
His block's going to have to come up big when he's playing the halflings and the goblins. They got it.
Yeah.
POWs are both downs. That's it.
If the Mercy is a very good coach anyway, and he plays those 3 trees right, he's in big trouble because you're not getting around them.
Nope.
That's why I always enjoy the halfling. Go on.
I was just gonna say this might be the highest TV halfling team I've ever seen.
No. I always enjoy the halfling dwarf matchup, just because you can hide behind 3 trees and they can't get round them. Obviously, chaos are a little bit quicker. Now, there's 3 big trees here. You do what you want to do. You're not getting to these little guys, and eventually dwarves leave the pitch, and that's great fun. Absolutely great fun. But yes, but Stolzy says he's wanting to develop and not win. Winning aids development.
A good season of developing for these guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Chaos will be this team will be pretty scary in the next season or 2, just like the other Chaos team we saw. A couple seasons with them, and they'll be good to go.
So let's look.
Look at Power Hour when they started, right? A couple seasons, just doing things, and then they started to develop and look out.
Yeah, let's look at our halflings then.
Good job, Stolzy. Chaos strong, brother.
It's looking like a nice team they are. Halflings then.
Go Flings.
Oh, God.
9 wins, 9 draws, 20 losses.
Sounds like halflings.
That's really good. That's really good for halflings.
It's got a move 3 tree. Yeah. Movement 3 trees, very nice. So you have to pick up any block on them.
The other one, I love grab.
But look at Garrett Hammond. He's an agile little fucker.
Oh, I'd say.
And
fast too.
Those 2.
Yeah.
Garrett Hammond and Oda Weatherby. Whatever. Those 2 things are pretty.
Look at Minto Tomato.
Minto Tomato. Oh, nice.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die this
block mighty blow. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with halflings. See, there's a couple of trails of thought. Now, the trees are the key to it all because they protect the little dudes. You need 1 or 2 that are designed or there to, I don't know, be tossed around or pick up the ball and do what they've got to do. He's got those. A halfling cost 30k. Block mighty blow 90k. That little guy That little guy is worth 3 halflings.
He totally is.
Flings are 40, not 30.
Yeah,
Well,
40.
These flings are showing in at 30.
Yeah, his flings are showing in at 30. So what does that mean, guys? Look at his 2 rookies are at 30.
Did they just change that?
No, that's been like that since, well, Living Rule Book 5 at least.
Yeah, so he's got 2 flings. He's got 2 flings worth 5 flings. Those 2 flings have 3 skills that are worth the same price as 5 flings.
And the thing is, and I get and understand, it probably doesn't hurt to have a blitzing piece, but let's be honest, the only time you don't blitz with a tree, in my opinion, is because there's something already stood next to him. But you don't need 2 of them that can do that.
You say he's got a big blitzing piece, but how is he going to blitz with that piece? I mean, is he going to use this? He's got to get his trees positioned because he's got guard. But other than that, strength 2. I don't know if you've seen our play pool. I've seen our play pool, but we all have strength 3 or 4.
I mean, I've played
lots of strength 3, 4, or 5. So
played a bit with halflings, and the Puggy is a great halfling to use for a blitzing piece, and he brings another dimension to the team. But yeah, that guy's worth 3 of them. If he was to trim the fat, as they say, a little bit, a couple of bits of sidestep just to cause bother, probably. But that's just, to me, that's hot pot right there. Those 2 halflings pay for his hot pot.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's great. Block money, blow and a half. Like, that's awesome. It's awesome. I don't care that it's only movement 4. That thing's awesome.
I will be killing that thing this season.
Thing.
Well, Trip points it out.
That's the downer.
Trip's just joined us and pointed it out. Instead of that mighty blow, he could have taken Dirty Player. And then whatever the tree doesn't kill, he removes. Or kick. And, you know, a deep kick, and if something goes wrong, sling a halfling down and hope for the best. But for me, other than number 3 and number 4...
So the problem with the Dirty Player, because he's the block piece, you don't want him getting sent off.
No.
That's the
I would just take Dirty Player and... Just Dirty Player and be done with it. But
so what do you take? What do you take when you roll doubles again on a Dirty Player?
You take 2 new halflings.
you take sneaky get and ignore the doubles, like.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to bloat a foul piece.
No.
If anybody, Trip brings, he's not a new coach. If anybody is,
he's not
considered a good or a decent fling coach, it would be Mercy. So this will be an interesting season for him.
It's for me. I mean, I've played in leagues with Mercy before, and he's been a top draw coach. We know he's good. We know he's a good coach. We can't dispute that. It's just my personal opinion is, you know, a halfling worth 90k. That's 3 halflings. That's those. Yeah, and they still die the same. You know, they're almost 6.
Well, if you want to say 90k, he has 2 halflings worth over 100k up the top. He's got one that is worth 30k less than his tree. Okay?
Yeah.
He's got one 30k less than a tree. Okay, that
guy, that one halfling, the agility plus on it is worth its weight. So you can fling him around. Jump up, I'm not sure on.
With sprint and sure feet, like, I mean, jump up's good too because you throw him. If he lands on the ground, he just gets up and runs anyway.
But why would you be throwing him without the ball?
Because he's at 4.
He played 1 game last season and he was throwing them.
Why would you? You could throw him to try to pick up, like, what if the opponent fumbles the ball and you throw him down and try to pick up the ball?
And the jump up, it is good, but if this guy hits the ground, he's probably going to die or leave the pitch anyway. He's almost 6.
You're right. I mean, I might even foul him. Like,
you know, I could see
130k fling.
I could see, and maybe it's a case of there's nothing else to pick, but I would take sidestep maybe. Just so if you push something into him, you step in the right direction, and then you've got movement 8 on him if you need it.
I think we're spending entirely way too much time on these fling team. Okay? Like their flings, their flings. You have to. They basically rely on Nuffle to win.
Trip's agreeing with me. It should have been sidestep. That's what we're saying. Trip agrees with me, and that's good enough for me. Because
that's good enough for you.
Well, his team is in my player pool, and he's going to ruin me, so I have to agree with him. You know, it's those brownie points early on.
I don't know if you saw yesterday, though. The East play pools for CL is one 2,000 TV team, and the rest 1,500 or less. Like that's both East team or both East pools. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's go to the Black Jesters. Another Dark Elf team. And like I say, I do enjoy Dark Elves.
I don't know if you guys know this, but this play pool is pretty stacked with coaches. I'm not looking forward to the season. I don't think.
Well, they pack in 14 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. That's impressive.
Yep. And this is he won the CL, right? He won the CL.
Yep. With his course.
Yep. So this is a good coach. So
yes.
Spare a loaner for you. That's funny.
So he's only got 2 blitzers.
Trip, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh god. Except for there's 2 of them like that now. 2 pools like that.
Yeah.
Mine is a little bit deadlier, but.
Right. So we've got 2 blitzers in the Black Jesters, 1 Witch Elf. So he's missing out on some key positionals in my view.
He's got some money though. One game he'll probably be able to buy one.
He wants to be picking up a blitzer possibly, or the Witch and then running into a couple of scores with the Witch.
Yep.
Missing that Witch.
That's nice.
Yeah, that Witch is nice, but missing the other Witch loses a lot of his pitch control. But she's a nice Witch. Very nice Witch.
And the thing about it is whichever one he picks up won't take long to level. Like
no. Providing his runner, Laughing, isn't greedy. If he sends through with Laughing, then there's a problem because the blitzers aren't getting the skills or the Witch isn't getting the skills. If he's using the blitzer in a blitzing role, he's going to take longer. Me personally, I'd be using this guy, 1 quick pass to the blitzer or to the Witch. That deals with his level. Then they look to get a couple of scores. Get a couple of scores on the board, then they'll blodging or wrestle and dodge or whatever it is you want to do. I'm a big fan of Wrestle Witches. And then they can go on resume normal duties. But this team has got 2 players of note, our Blitzer and our Witch. The rest look relatively young.
I like all the dodge on his line elves though.
Yeah, makes them very mobile.
Block, I like that. Well, especially in a low level.
Yeah.
Like in this play pool, it's not a lot of tackle.
No.
Like even though they don't have block, but they don't,
Well, he's probably got the most tackle with 2. On those 2 players.
I only have 2 tackle on my super developed team, so I mean.
Yeah.
Me too.
So they're an interesting team.
I might have 3 actually now, but yeah, I like this team. I think it's got a good base start for Dark Elves. Dark Elves are expensive as it is. Like getting them to under TV cap and like developing them and keeping them under TV cap and having all your positionals.
I mean, Stoles is pointing out his win ratio. His win ratio is pretty good. Who's he playing?
Like I have 2, but you also have 5 frenzy Trip. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on. Lizards. I'm a fan of lizards. I like them. I think these could be good in this player pool.
I love lizards too. I love feeding them to my claws.
Yeah, I think they are going to get eaten by a few claw players. Initial views on this: they have all the blocks that they need. They're packing in at 10 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. A couple of skinks. There's a blodging skink there. Personally, I take sure hands first. I think it has more value. Because if you skinks shouldn't be getting hit. You should not be letting them get hit. Stoles is pointing out no Apo. That's interesting. But maybe that's
they had a cut. He's a new coach, so he didn't have any bonus TV, so he had to get right at that 1,400 TV.
Yeah.
And he had to have 11 players. So yeah, I think that was a good cut. He'll buy an Apple right after game 1.
Yeah.
But if he gets me game 1, he might regret not having an Apo. So.
Well, he's got that 110.
He'll just buy one from inducements. He'll just buy that from inducements.
He's got 110 to go. That means he's got his skink and his Apo after the first game, plus what winnings he's got. Then he's where he needs to be, and the rest is just hope and pray it goes the direction he wants to do.
He's under 1400 TV. He has all 6 Saurus.
Yep.
And they all have block already. Like, that's a pretty
nice place
I don't
to
know.
be.
That's a pretty good start in my book. I feel like that's a really good start to be.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't lose one of those Saurus game one.
Can you make it better? Lizzie team, could this team have come in better?
I don't think it could have. I mean, six Saurus and a Crocs, 2 guard, a tackle, a mighty blow, block. I mean, I think it's a really good start for.
Yeah, my starting when I was Liz's first season in, I think I had the 6 block. I had a strength 5 dude in there, a little bit of mighty blow. I had nothing on the skinks, so it worked for me. Ask Stolzy, I played him in the first game.
Still bringing it up big. All weekend. Well, and I do agree with you that he probably should have had sure hands on that skink block, but especially because Adi 3, only 3 rerolls, Adi 3. But that being said, he's not going to be in that 1 in 9 trap that the Saurus always are.
No.
So
and
he might have the extra reroll. So.
He's telling me that he won the Challenge League, but that's because I got promoted and didn't get to finish season in the Challenge, so I was in the pros. But anyway, enough about Stolzy. That last skink, I love you, man. That last skink it's idealistic world now, but had he dropped him completely, the sidestep dive tackle, and picked up a standard skink, he could have fitted in that Apo. For the 1400.
I do want to point out the last team. The Halflings had a diving tackle, and this team has a diving tackle. I hate diving tackle. I hate it because I always forget about it.
I love diving tackle. It's so much
fun. I love
fun.
using it, but that's a skill that I always forget. Without fail, I forget that the player has diving tackle.
Because everybody forgets it.
Even Kislev, which they're literally and they're designed to have diving tackle on their blitzers, and I always forget. So I'm I'm already nervous that I'm gonna make a stupid play and diving tackle out or something.
That's why you need to play things like Nurgle, because they don't think about dodging; they just smash them in the face.
Well, Ultimate Pestigore will dodge. He's got 2 heads, and he likes to get out of dodge. So.
Yeah. Right, what we got next then? Oh, this should be fun. Goblins.
The scariest yet the least scary team.
Goblins are just wrecking balls waiting to happen, aren't they? They have the most destructive first half you could ever wish for.
Go down the stairs.
And we've got a team here. Their record is not in the negative. It's 0 wins, 0 draws, and 0 losses.
I do want to point out he's got a starting Goblin team with no stadium enhancement. Which is kind of...
He's not even played a game yet. Give the guy a chance.
What's wrong with you?
Whenever I start a Goblin team, I always start with enhancement. Always.
Well...
they have the money to do it.
Maybe he's an old-school Goblin coach before stadium enhancements were about.
You're right. He's got both... he's got all his dirty weapons, or secret weapons.
Yeah.
Plus, he's going to get... If you look at the play pool, the flings, he's going to get 240 TV from flings, okay? This guy's going to be rolling in money all season long.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to spend...
It just makes it that much more fun.
How is he going to spend $1 million gold against me? He's going to buy everything. I'll take 1 of everything, please.
Yeah. He's going to buy a new team and send out.
3 brides, and a second chainsaw.
A second chainsaw, probably another flail, whatever. Yeah, ball and chain. Or another troll. They'll get Ripper, and then they'll have 3 trolls they have to deal with.
There you go. That's only about, I don't know, 500.
That's only half. So then you get to chef. And 4 bribes. And I'm like, oh.
No, I just go 6 bribes. That's bribe for everybody. Bribey.
Well, apparently he only played.
Foul, man? Let's get fouling.
He only played Blitz beforehand. Apparently in the MML.
Yeah, this is his first season.
Yeah.
In the Seattle. So, actually, this is him and Furion, the Lizard coach. This is both their first seasons in the league, so it'll be fun. Yeah. I'm glad I get to help introduce them into this
world of pain. But he doesn't. He doesn't even need an Apo, does he? Because what is there on there to protect that he can't just get new next game?
Right.
Besides the troll, maybe. But
okay, this is out of all the teams. This is probably the team I'm the most scared to play against. Strictly because goblins, if they roll right, can kill a team in 6 turns.
Oh yeah. But by the time,
knowing my luck, I'm gonna die in the first 6 turns, and I'm still gonna win like
chainsaw
4-0.
kills,
no
fanatic kills, a couple stomps kill, and the trolls killed a bit. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, and the fouls are going to be coming in left, right, and centre. That's not going to be pleasant for anybody.
And if he plays the way he did in Blitz, he will be fouled.
Yeah. He's got to knock my guys down. That's the biggest thing. Like I mean, his ball and chains, whatever. Like I'm strength 5. I'm like whatever. He's not going to get his 3 dies on it. Like most ball and chains get. So
chainsaw just needs anything but a 1.
Anything but a 1. You're right. And
well, if he rolls 1, well, then he's screwed, right? So
the thing about these secret weapons that he has on his team, they don't have loner, which is really
I know it's huge.
Quite annoying.
Huge.
I don't know. This team, like I said, is goblins. It's basically Knuffle flips a coin at the beginning of the match and be like, tails you die, heads you kill. You know, that's pretty much exactly. That's the goblins.
Right. So let's look at the player pool. Who's finishing top?
Rand.
Yeah, I agree.
And it pains me because I want him to be CL for life like me, but Plaguing should have gone pros in tougher play, in harder play pools than he's in this year.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Doom there.
The only issue you've got...
South, you gotta watch out for South and Abyss or 2, but...
I appreciate your guys' praise, but here's the deal. Rand has a very long and history of choking and being terrible at the wrong times.
Well, it's all those tents. Maybe you should get rid of the tentacles. You won't choke anymore.
Well, see,
Rand has had multiple games in his career for the CL where all he needed was a draw or a win, and he'd be moving on. And he has lost. He's 0 for 4 in games where all he needed was a draw or a win to move on, and he's 0 for 4. So I'm just saying.
Last week it'll come down to getting a win or a tie, and the Goblins will destroy him, and he misses playoffs.
It'll be against the Goblins, and I will lose.
Or the Halflings. One of the two is going to destroy him.
Yeah, he won't just lose.
It'll happen.
It'll be a Goblin dodging away from the tentacles warrior.
Picking up the ball and scoring for the win. With 2 GFS.
Here's the deal. On paper, I should win this league. I should win every game. I should have no trouble.
No, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have some trouble.
I'm looking at these teams. If you put them all next to each other and you don't know coaches, you just look at the skills. My team outskills and should outplay every team on this board.
Yeah, the thing for me is
500 TV above them all. Okay?
And inducements don't give you that much.
That's the problem.
Inducements are not that helpful for a lot of, unless you're goblins and flings who are going to be. I'm probably going to see wizards all week or all season.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it really depends on how the wizards go. Because if the Dark Elves get a good
you're
wizard,
going to see a wizard and a hot pot against most of these teams.
Well, the thing is, the Dark Elves, the lizards, and possibly the Bretts can make the most out of that wizard.
Even the Chaos, really.
Yeah, possibly.
Here's the deal.
He knows how to use wizards, right? You gotta remember
the flings can just lightning bolt and then throw a fling down there and grab the ball and run away. You know, stunty. Any team that's got stunty can just run through unless they run through my tentacles. So I'll have to set my. It'll really depend on my positioning with the stunty teams. But I don't think the orcs and the chaos will have as much as luck with the wizards. But those 3, like you said, the lizards, the Dark Elves, and the Bretts, I'm more worried about losing to them because of a good wizard than any other team. Yeah. I don't have a real second ball carrier, so if they lightning bolt me and knock my guy out or something, it could be a long game.
So
so it's all, for me, it's all about inducements. If the inducements work, I could have a long season.
who's our wild card then? Who's going to sneak in to that second spot, do something magical?
Beyond.
What?
See,
I can't hear you, dude.
The Lizards.
Furion?
now,
Lizards.
see, I think it's going to be Laser Trip
Or
and
the
Ram
Friends.
take the top two. I think Mercy. He's going to upset some people. He's going to roll some bullshit. He's going to steal all the re-rolls and roll some more bullshit. And yeah, he could, like you say, he could upset most coaches in that division with good positioning, taking the right re-rolls and landing the right dice.
Here's
And
the
taking
thing.
the right inducements. Like
Mercy's
he's
going
gonna
to
get a
do
chef,
really
but-
good for flings. He's going to get at least 2 wins this season. Okay, and that's a lot for a flings. So he's in, because when coach goes up against flings, any coach will say, okay, I don't want to lose because that'll be the embarrassing thing. But you kind of in your head think of it, okay, this is my easy week, or it's a win.
Yeah, I agree.
The 2 games he wins are going to absolutely devastate whoever he gets them against. But I don't think he's going to get 4 to 5 wins. That's what you need to make the cut.
do,
is
yeah.
5 wins, okay, and at least 4 if it's a really tight series. Like it's a lot of draws.
4 is the magic number to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, a 4 with some draw. If it's a draw heavy and it's a very tight play pool, he's not getting 4 with some flings.
See, he's going to be...
Maybe squeaks 3, and then he can bring a halfling, trophy, winning the league with 3 halfling wings. But it's halfling math. But he's not making 4 wins. And
I think nobody's got tackle to deal with him, really. The Dark Elves possibly. I think.
I do. What are you smoking?
I
Brets have good
think he's going to struggle.
There's enough out there.
I think he's going to
Lizards
struggle.
would be my wild card. I had never seen Furion play, but I think the Lizards have the speed. They have the Saurus has got a good base. They'd be my wild card.
So
my number 2 spot.
Andy and Trip have to go and rub it into my face because last season I drew against flings with my human team. Which is subtly and maybe loudly the biggest reason why I'm not playing the humans this season. They're getting put away because I drew against flings, which is
also
just
Robin
as bad
Hood
as
died.
losing. Yeah, and Robin Hood died. Yeah, he did. Robin Hood Loxley died. That was rough. But my wild card, like I said, I think if there's a team I'm going to lose against, if there's a team I'm going to lose to, it's going to be the Orcs. That, and you might think that I'm crazy, but I have.
No, I was thinking it too. No,
I have a really. I'm 0-3 all time with the play games against Orcs. I don't know what it is, but when I play against Orcs, I just don't play. And one of them was week 7 of season 13. All I had to do was draw or beat Colorado Celts Orcs, and he beat me 2-0 with Plague. So I have a bad feeling, and I shouldn't have this feeling because I know it's just going to lead up to this game, and then I'm going to lose, and it's going to be a repeat of the last 5 seasons. But I think they're going to be, if they beat me, you'll watch them have a chance to go on and win the whole thing. So.
Stolzy's booing me. Stolzy, you said you were just out to develop, so I couldn't pick it because you're just going to develop. Come on, man.
So who's finishing bottom?
Can we do finish bottom that's not the Goblins? Can we do who's finishing bottom other than the Goblins?
Drop the Goblins, drop the Flings. Let's pick one of the other ones.
I think the Flings are going to go higher. I think the Flings might end up higher than Stolzy's Chaos. Did I say that out loud?
See, now you're just on glue.
So what you're saying?
Really?
What I'm saying is Stolzy may lose to the Halflings because he doesn't have a team that's developed enough to maybe take care of these Halflings. He's a good coach, but the Flings, if they roll right, and that's the thing, is when you lose the Flings, everybody makes fun of you, but it's not really you losing to Flings, it's you losing to the dice. Because the Flings have to roll a lot of dice to win a game.
If I take Plague to finish last, I'm walking away.
No, I'm not having that. Flings don't need to roll a lot of dice. They need to take your dice off you, stand 3 trees there, and let you roll the dice, and then it all goes wrong, and that's how they win.
No, but then they have to, after you've rolled and failed your dice rolls, they have to succeed in their dice rolls.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, none of their dice rolls are easy dice rolls. They don't have built-in rerolls. They don't have agi out the butt. They don't have. No, well, he's got one agi.
But he's got that. His Mighty Blow Fling is going to kill that Nurgle Beast of Warrior. That Nurgle Beast. He's going to. He's just going to go. Do you know what? Boom.
He was supposed to be fired after season 8, and I have not been able to bring myself to fire him. Okay. I have not. He's a blodging beast. Who the hell has a blodging beast? Okay, he needs to blow and he needs to go away. So please kill him.
Yeah, and Trips has pointed out that they have got inbuilt rerolls with dodge.
They also have agi. They also have agi 3 though. So
yeah. So bottom spot, but not a stunty. Well, I think your top 2 are the Bretts and the Nurgle. I think the Dark Elves will be in and around the mix with the Orcs. Lizards you can't discount. That kind of leaves Stolzy left on his own.
And I'm not. It's nothing against Stolzy.
No, it's not. The team's developing. It's at a base level. If that was sort of 1800 TV, it would be a different question. But I think Lizards, where they are, would be able to control the game better against the likes of Stolzy and other games. Stoles is going to struggle with the Orcs, he's going to struggle with the Lizards, he's going to struggle with Nurgle and the Bretts. Because of the TV value that we're playing at. That's my view.
He doesn't have his removal pieces that Chaos usually has to counter
Not yet.
Bastions, right? So he doesn't have them yet. So
no.
If he develops them before the season starts, or before the season's over, if he gets a couple good level ups early on, you might see it.
Well, I'm looking now, and his 2 killer pieces or potential killer pieces. One needs 6 points, and the other needs MVP. MVP lands on that, and he picks up a claw piece or something. All of a sudden, it's changed.
Yeah. Which it sucks saying, because Claw, I hate that Claw is so prevalent like that. But he's gonna struggle against 5 teams.
He just said he's gonna struggle against the Flings.
He's going to struggle on no tackle if he doesn't roll pals, but
yeah,
which that's the thing.
There's no block on Flings, boys. Come on now.
He's going to struggle
against but there's
teams without
3 trees stood in the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say the Orcs for me because they are way underdeveloped, but I don't know. It could be any of these teams, really. Like it
I think South's too good of a coach to be bottom. So.
I think the middle's going to be very jam-packed in this division.
It's going to be tight. It could be a loss that separates the middle from the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just scouting the standard teams, because...
So what we've got...
Not including the Goblins.
We've had 3 arguably very tight divisions, although this one we've all shouted for the same Nurgle winner. Because the skills on the team are better than Inducement Sport, in my view. But it just shows how tight the player pools are this year, which is really good.
Well, so far out of ours, we've done 5. Hawker and I have done 5. June and Beers have come in, but we've done 5, and I think the 2 CL East pools are the only ones with any kind of disparity, like major disparity.
Yeah.
I think the other 3 pools that we've had were pretty much like it's going to be tight. It's going to be a good season for the MML this year.
Yeah, I think so.
What pools are left to be done?
The 2 Pro West teams, and then the last your CL pool. So both Pro West pools, and then the last CL pool.
I'm very interested in I'm very interested in 2 of those pools. Mine, because it's mine. But the first 4, and who's first 4 with the Beers? First 4 and...
we are with... Dungeon West.
Whatever. Dungeon West.
No, Dungeon West this year.
That pool, I looked at it, and I was like, I would pay money to be in that pool. That just looks like the
We're still
funnest
waiting on
pool
Baldwin
ever.
to get in,
Well,
and he went perfect
Doom,
last season.
you would pay money to get out of your pool. You have 2 chores and 3 works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too. But no, so teams aside, first of all, I think that's a great pool, and we'll talk about it tomorrow because it's diverse. And that's the thing. Again, I don't mind playing against a North team where there's gonna be a tough, grindy Smash team, but that's the thing with my pool. I'm sure you'll get talked about tomorrow as well. Is that there's no diversity in what's going on there. Every game is going to be a bash game.
Yeah.
My team's the only skill team in there, actually. Mine's
Which one's yours, Stu?
That'll be the North. Well, which pool?
Yeah, what pool are you, War?
CPR and War.
CPR,
no,
yeah.
War. That was my CL pool. I remember it. Oh yeah, bash, Norse, bash.
Well, it's just bash too. It's all bash. There's no agi at all. It's all bash.
There's not a single agi team in here, and it makes it for very
God.
like it's gonna be like it's not gonna be fun to watch. Like it's not gonna be an interesting play.
Oh, it could be fun. Don't get me wrong. No way.
It's gonna be a slog. It's gonna be a slog of a season.
Dude, it's gonna be a slaughterhouse. This is gonna be awesome. I'm glad I'm not the Norse team. They're so dead.
Not only are they dead, they're giving up inducements to die even better.
I'm giving up
1920. Wow.
There's a fresh Chorf team in there that's going to get over 900 inducements.
So what we're saying is that Trip needs to get his games in nice and early because Valhalla's going to be full.
Pretty much. Even with the 1,000 Corp team. Wow.
To be fair, though,
that's gonna be bash central.
We're almost talking about it now, but it's I have a strength advantage in my play pool. I've already increased the teams.
Except for the Khemri.
Yeah, but I have 2 Dauntless Strength 4 guys.
Dauntless is huge, man.
Which are 2 pluses. They're not even Strength 3 Dauntless. They're Strength 4 Dauntless, right? So, and then I have enough Strength 4 that I don't need that many assists to knock a Tomb Guardian over.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Tomorrow, all 3 of our reviews will be really cool. Baldwin should have his team selected. He's in Hong Kong. Right?
I haven't heard
tonight.
Yeah,
right?
he had 40 today. And he messaged off this morning sometime. So, second he gets home, he's supposed to be doing his team. So I would say probably late Eastern time he'll be picking his team or putting his team in.
Right? Yeah.
Tonight for us. Yeah.
So tomorrow when we start this,
he's 12
all
hours
teams
behind or ahead. Sorry.
But
yeah, it's
like
tomorrow's
2 Canadians in that pool.
3 real fun pools.
3 Canadians in that pool. So that's the Canadian pool.
No, there's only 2 of us. It's Stu and I.
Tarn.
Tarn's Canadian?
Tarn is from Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I did not know that. He's from Toronto?
Yeah, he's a real life buddy of mine. Me and Tarn know each other.
Dude, that's awesome. Haha, cool. Justy's in Toronto right now, dude.
I know he is. Actually, I've been trying to shoot him messages telling him where he should go while he's in Toronto.
See now,
who's team? There's 3 Nurgle teams this season.
Who's the I was chatting to a Canadian coach, and I cannot for the life of me remember who it was. It might have been, no, I don't know. And there's a we played the Canadian Blood Bowl team at the World Cup, and
that'd
there's
be Momo.
Will it?
Probably Momo. He's big tabletop.
Good night, Trip. And there's a pub that a guy runs, big guy with a mohawk, last name Jones. He's half Welshie, and we was chatting to him, and he's invited us out there. But he knows them apparently. He knows them. It was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Momo.
Yeah.
He was at the Canadian. He tried to get me to come out to the Canadians this year. I think it was in BC this year or something like that. It was close to him, so he tried to get me to come out.
No, that'd be awesome.
Paint some miniatures up before I start playing tabletop again.
Yeah.
No, mine are still all downstairs, dude.
Started painting mine.
Floor's gonna be insane.
Who's on for tomorrow then? We got 3 awesome play pools. Are you guys gonna be around or?
I don't know if I will be.
Well, it's
just give me a shout.
We've got myself, Rand, you'll be there, won't you?
Yeah.
So we're looking for probably one more.
Dio was the original, so we might kick one of you out for Dio because I don't think you can go before.
I think. Yeah, it's
No,
just
I probably won't be around
for
tomorrow.
one of the play posts.
cool, and we'll have a look
Our
at those.
score is gonna be insane.
Are we going to try for the same time again tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be about the same time. 7 my time is the well, 7:30 ideally is my little girl goes to bed then, so before that's her time. Plus I teach karate, so I won't be about anyway. So about 7 my time, which is what, 1 over there ish.
Wait, why is
7 o'clock
why is
UK
the
time.
DLC fun? Oh, hey. I don't know what just happened, but the DLC fun, which happens to be Corrupt Commissioners League, has a schedule. They have started. They're on round 1.
Whoa, hold the phone. Let's go and have a look at
Yeah.
this.
Oh, dang.
I noticed that actually earlier.
Where are we looking at?
The Preachers pool, the first pool we did this morning.
DLC details. Let's have a look at the schedule. Let's just have a very quick talk of round 1. Dignity are playing the Tree Dogs. That's interesting. Care went. So Brett's versus the Vamps. Is that
humans? Remember, they
humans?
should be Brett,
Sorry,
but
they
they're
should be
humans.
Brett. Yeah. Which one's Preacher's team?
The
Rough
Rainbow
Riders.
Rough Riders are playing the other human team.
Rough Riders against the other against the Pioneers, who we tipped to struggle with.
That should be a pretty good good game.
So, do you reckon that Preacher's organised this schedule as well? Just swap the teams around, and who do I want to play first?
He's got the Chaos team playing against the Wood Elves first week. You know, that could be pretty good for him.
Trim those down, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Has any others got
What are the Pioneers? The Pioneers.
Human team Pioneers? Yeah, it's just that one, isn't it?
Just our Corrupt Commissioners League has started.
Right. Well, before we get cited for slander, I'm going to wish the stream good night and speak to them tomorrow for more player reviews. I'll turn this off and we'll carry on with our conspiracy theories, I suppose. Good night, gents.
Tinfoil hat tomorrow?
Yeah, that's
I will have my tinfoil hat.
And I've got to try and find a Hawaiian shirt somehow. But we'll see what we can do.
Must be hard to find.
It's not just that, we don't have sun that often either.
Yeah. Too much rain for.
Yeah. Right, to the stream. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow, guys, for more reviews. I hope you're enjoying it. And to the team, thank you very much.